District Engineer,
Here.
C2,
Here.
Chair,
Present.
C3.
Here.
For the record, C4 is on his way. District Attorney
Here.
and District Treasurer is here. He stepped out.
Thank you. Why don't we stand for the pledge of allegiance? And lead it off.
Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Got you tonight. We had to go back to preschool. Mr. Carrera, do we have the additions, deletions, substitutions for our agenda?
No, sir.
No options as well? All right, with that being said, can we get a motion on the floor for the board meeting minutes for last month? Landowners meeting on October 23rd?
Aye.
Second. The motion on the floor, we have a second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Becky, for the board, the meeting minutes for the land use meeting last month. All right, at this time, we're going to take public comments. First one we have here is Anna De Varona.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of the post office. We received a donation of 22 parcel lockers for the Montura residents. We've already been able to bring them out here, and we're planning on installing them. They are 4 parcel lockers to each locker bay, so that is a total of 88 new parcel lockers, which will alleviate our residents having to go all the way into Clewiston to pick them up.
Sure. Can you say that once again? I don't know if we have. Can you say that once again? Sorry.
We have received a donation
Sure.
of 22 parcel lockers.
22 parcel lockers. Okay.
The parcel lockers, each one holds 4 lock boxes.
Okay.
So it's a total of 88.
So we have a total of 88 lock boxes, and that fits what? And I'm sorry.
Packages.
Packages.
So the medium-sized packages or smaller packages that we only have those 4 working parcel lockers out there right
Sure.
now, we now have an addition of 88 more.
88.
I don't have to go up.
I'm sorry?
That's good. I don't have to go how many times to town.
Well, that's what we're trying
That's
to
what's
do.
out.
We have just taken over the contract, my husband and I.
Good.
Daniel knows. We're trying to get the betterment of Montura.
Sure.
We are residents out here, so this also affects us because I also have to go to town to get my packages. So.
Can you tell us what is the size of that? Is it like 8 by 12, 8 by 10, 4 by 2?
It's like I would say it's like 18 by 12 by 18 deep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Good.
We already have them here. Central County would have to install them. Now, the donation itself was almost $20,000. Each
Sure.
one of these parcel lockers costs a little over $875.
Whose are they?
They belong to Montura.
No,
If
whose lockers are they going to? Who's going to be responsible for the lockers?
Montura.
Montura.
Central- Yes, Central County Water Control District. The
John, can you look
mailroom,
into that?
What do you mean?
To look into that, because what we don't want is any kind of liability. Because, like for instance, we're in the pissing match now with post office. Who that building belongs to?
the building belongs to Central County Water Control District. The emblem on the front of the building, or actually on the mail receptacle where you put your outgoing mail, the eagle that everybody has been talking about, that is saying that it is a federal, the contents inside each one of those mailboxes is federally protected. It is not saying that that is a federal building per se. It's to deter people who want to steal or break into it or damage it from doing it because it would be considered a federal offense. It does not mean that it belongs to the United States Postal Service.
So where is the contract that we've been asking for the contract? Where's the contract which shows that it does belong to Central County?
You never provided.
Central County, 22 or 23 years ago, built that building.
The building is just like if we had a mailbox in front of our yard.
Yes, sir. If you had a mailbox in front of your yard, you put a post up, you put the mailbox on it,
It's our responsibility.
it's still your responsibility. The mailing side is protected by the federal government, but the mailboxes themselves are not
Gotcha.
ours. If somebody runs over said mailbox, you would have to put up a new mailbox,
Not the post office.
not the post office.
Correct.
So that's what this mail building is. Now, we have another issue with the mail building. The mail building is no longer safe.
Right.
I'm coming in on the 11th hour, so please don't kill the messenger. I've taken time out of my day to come here and
Sure.
speak to you all.
Appreciate it.
The mailroom itself is collapsing.
Yes.
The roof is coming down, so all of my customers who have that top row of boxes,
Sure.
some of them are not able to open them anymore because the metal is sinking in. It's rusted.
Sure.
The interior, when it rains, the overhead roof, it has a wire mesh on it. Everything that's falling in falls in on top of the carrier.
Sure.
Eventually, whether it be building and zoning, the postal service, whoever it may be, someone in the very near future is going to deem this unsafe.
Agreed.
At that point, there will be no more mail delivery for Montura. Montura residents will have to go to, whether it be Clewiston, to buy a P.O. box and rent it yearly, or Moorhaven, Immokalee, or LaBelle. And the reason being, Clewiston cannot hold all the residents of Montura.
So with that being said, I'm glad that you mentioned it. So that being said, I think we as a community should push. I think most of us would love for it to be like it should be at our residences. So I think that would be a great thing.
I will be very honest with you.
As
The
well as
residents- The residents' idea is not going to work. There is too many miles. We would need approximately 5 to 6 mail carriers to do this area. It's a great idea, but cost effectively, the postal service will not go for it. So eventually, what will end up happening is we as residents here will have to purchase P.O. boxes. And if everybody's complaining about having to pick up a package, so what are they gonna do to pick up mail every day?
So from us, you need us to install
The parcel lockers.
Okay.
Yes, the parcel lockers are already here.
Do you have a location that you want to install in?
That's up to you, that's what do you want to put?
You can put them-
Whoa. No, bro, not tonight.
What are you looking at?
I mean, whoever.
I ain't saying nothing.
Not tonight, please. Please.
Um,
This is a meeting, please.
basically, if we can, we would like to take that first parking spot and put them in. If you'll allow me to just show you, this would be kind of like the parking spot.
Sure.
We would put it one this way facing in, one facing this way, one here and one here. So there would be approximately 4 rows and they would be facing into each other. Okay, and that way everybody can receive them. The ultimate goal is to try and provide the best possible service, but I'm coming as a resident and I'm coming as your mail lady. I'm asking for help.
Sure.
I can't do this by myself. Mr. Santiago used to work for the post office. He's fully aware of what that mailroom is like. And we've been at least able to get 88 parcel numbers, which will make an immense difference as far as everybody being able to pick their stuff up, we being able to deliver and not have to take back everything. Because we load it all up, we bring it out here, and then we have to take it back.
Good.
I'll be very honest with you, I even tried using a cell phone and texting everybody,
doesn't
and
work.
it doesn't work.
Me 100%. I love it. I would say yes, 100%. But the problem that comes as of us being a government agency is a liability issue. It has nothing to do with, we can bring the motion up, we can say, yeah, installing it, Flacco has the manpower, to do it, it comes to the aspect if someone crashes into it, if someone hits it, if it gets stolen. You know, it comes into that. We've been fighting this battle when I was still there with who has ownership over the box. The post office doesn't give us a broad answer. The district super
Growth management
doesn't give us.
did give us an answer on November 20th. They said the final answer was, please be advised that the USPS is not in the construction business. As stated below, it is current postal policy requires that purchase, installation, maintenance, repair, and replacement of mail receptacles are the responsibility of the customer. I do hope this clarifies your inquiry.
There's other emails that you.
Yeah, yes,
that you got privy
I
to
didn't-
as well.
Oh, I have them, I just didn't print them all out for the board, was it necessary?
But I believe the better thing for this community, that we don't have to go to a central location, and I believe that we should be able to get it delivered to our.
And I agree with you,
That's what we'll push for.
I would love to get that at my house,
That's
but
what we'll push
I am going to say something,
Sure.
and you all can get mad or not.
It doesn't matter.
But at the end of the day, when this mailroom is deemed unsafe, none of Montura residents will get their mail here. You will have to purchase a yearly P.O. box, and you will have to travel, whether it be to any surrounding post office to get your mail.
John, is there anything that if we were to approve it and put the parcel lockers there, would we be in contention?
I'm sorry.
If we were to approve to put the parcel lockers there, would there be any content to that we're liable for putting it there? Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't we
Yeah, of
used
course.
to at one time
Yeah, so,
maintenance and fix?
just
that
like
bill-
this email that I think you provided from.
Yeah, I got it from the postmaster.
I don't know how to pronounce the name. Reuters?
Yeah,
Reuters House?
Nick,
They say, please, the U.S. Postal Service is not in the construction business. Which is true. Neither is Central County Water Control. That's the problem.
but 23 years ago, Central County put in that mailroom.
We don't,
Yeah.
that's what we've been asking US Post Office, and all of a sudden they don't have any of that information, they don't have anything.
Well, if we go back to the minutes from 23 years ago or so, we can find them in the minutes here at Central County. I was a resident back then, and we used to have NCBUs, they're called. They used to be out in the open, there was no cover or anything, but it
Like
did
in
not.
Pioneer,
Correct.
like in Pioneer.
No, like in Ladika. Pioneer has its mailroom,
I think they did it about the same time.
but Pioneer did a much larger mailroom than we did.
Gotcha.
They set up for what their area was.
So can I
And-
ask a question?
Yes, sir.
So, and I
Again, I'm the messenger.
No, and I'm assuming you're right. I have no reason to believe that somebody here 20-some years ago paid money.
Well, I was here, so
Yeah.
I saw it
I
happen.
believe you. Again, I'm just reading from the email.
Mm-hmm.
Postal policy requires purchase, installation, maintenance, repair, and replacement of all mail receptacles are the responsibility of the customer. So if you do that, you're the customer. And Central County Water Control District will be responsible, right, for the purchase, installation, maintenance, repair, and replacement of mail receptacles.
So what we can do, I think, as a board, what we should do is gather all the information, have a meeting with the postmaster. If you want to take that initiative, have a meeting with the postmaster, try to get them with the liability and see what we do from there, to better the community.
Well, let me just say this, the liability, you have a mailroom. You have parcel lockers already there. They're broken. They're outdated.
That's why we've been reaching out to them.
But the mailroom itself is falling apart.
Right.
And it belongs to Central County. Who pays the electric there? And on whose property is it?
It doesn't belong to Central County, because if you look on the record books with the county, there is no permit for that building.
But there's an electric bill that comes every month for that building. And it's Central County who's covering that cost, if I'm not mistaken.
John,
I think she's right. I mean, that's the issue.
Let me-
So it's not just committing to boxes.
Let me ask this
It's committing
question.
to building a new
Let
facility.
me ask this question. Because we have had this in the past where stuff gets lost. let's say the building is our responsibility. Where did we go from the notion that we were no longer maintaining? Because if I'm not mistaken, at one time we used to go in there and change the lights. Correct?
I never changed a light in there. Maybe before me, but
Okay.
I never changed a light.
Because I was told at a certain period of time, Central County would maintain and take care of that building. We won't touch none of the box, nothing mail related, but we would touch the building. And I remember at one time that the building was damaged, the roof, and Central County replaced it. So if we did do some notions that it is our responsibility, it's just like if you put a mailbox in front of the house. Because the answers that when I was there, the answers that I got from the U.S. Postal Service was they're not doing anything. They kept telling me that it was our responsibility as residents to address the issue. But it comes to the fact that they still need Central County board's approval. So in all reality, we're passing the puck to something that's our problem.
Yes, sir.
I think it would personally become a voters or a taxpayer's problem when we start having mailboxes in front of their house.
Correct.
But because it does sit on our property, it is our problem.
And it's still Central County's liability because that property belongs to
I
Central
think
County.
that's what it makes great sense, so it should get it off of us and put it in our yard, so we don't have that liability.
So you have to make a decision at some point in time, because you're at a fork in the road. Whatever
How
was
much,
done,
how much would it cost to put the partial lockers there?
Well, if it's a problem for Central County that we, the employees, put it on our working time, I already got like 3 or 4 people that more.
Yeah, to install it's no problem.
We're willing to volunteer to help install.
Yeah, so I know, just.
You just need the board's approval.
We need the approval and the permission so that we can have them
But she
there.
needs
We
the
can't-
approval is so we can use the space. I mean, it's our property, you don't need a permit from anybody to put it.
Can you speak to the postmaster to have her present at one of our meetings so we can get mail delivered to our houses so we don't have to go to a postal room?
I can ask her, but again, you're talking about a month out. We have parcel lockers now. They were,
We're not saying that, but I'm just saying that,
in a future, yes. But can I get an answer on this one now? Because this is something that was donated to Monterey residents, to the community.
Sure.
If we can't get an approval, those parcel lockers are gonna have to go back because they're donated, but they will be redonated to another community.
I would like to say something about this.
Sure.
I believe that we should do something about it. I believe we should put it there because we have a lot of residents here.
We do.
They're serving a lot of elderly people, senior citizens. And they have been complaining to me that they have to go to town to get the medication. I'm not talking about mail, that can be delayed or
I
whatever.
agree.
I'm talking about medication, which they need for the blood pressure, for the sugar, they play, heart problem, right? You know, and that's very important to them. I
Yes,
think we should take care of that ourselves, and then after we take care of that ourselves, then we can talk to the government.
So,
Who was the lady, is it a question?
I think
so
you.
let's do this. I don't think we have a problem doing it, but also we'd like to, I think, speak with the postmaster so we can alleviate for the time being our issue. But I think the overall goal is to get that from Central County liability and have it curbside right by our residences.
That's something that I have no control over, but
Which is the message.
I will repeat again. Monterey will never get curbside delivery. It does, okay, but it will be years and years, and in the meantime, we're talking about 6 months to a year before that mailroom collapses, and we as residents will no longer have mail delivery even at the courthouse. That is the problem.
But to buy a simple mailbox and put it in front of our house, it's our responsibility. But I'm just saying, reach out, let's go ahead and make a motion.
I make a motion to put the mailboxes and fix the level.
You see any issue with it, John?
If you correct your statement, your motion, just to put the partial lockers there, just to put them there
Yeah.
until we find, because holiday season is coming up.
Yes, please.
Until we find a liability issue, when John gets back to us and says, hey, blah, blah, blah.
This is what I'm saying, Donnie. This is what I'm saying.
I don't want to dive deeper
No,
into
no,
what
no,
we're
no,
diving
I want to
into.
explain myself. There is some areas there in the roof or whatever that I think, and you can correct me with me.
I know exactly how the mail is because I used to help.
Right, but what I want to say,
the door.
what I want to say is this, the roof and all that, we can fix it a little bit.
Okay, but what she needs right now is to
After 88 boxes.
put the buses so we don't have
Okay, let's
to,
go, let's go.
so we don't have
Is
to
that
take
your
it
motion?
out.
Just to put the boxes?
I make a motion to put the boxes like the ladies requested.
I second your motion.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Mata,
Okay.
I will do my very best to have the postmaster here, possibly for our next meeting, if possible. As you know, we are in season. I am going to make every possible attempt.
Even if it's a Zoom or whatever.
But we do have another little issue during holiday season. The city carriers are out much later,
Understood.
so I can't make that promise, but I promise to make every possible effort.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
And thank you, everyone.
Next one we have, Kim Pelham.
Hi, it's Kim Clemens. I'm,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. I live at 648 Westwood Avenue, and I just have a couple of questions about status of the drive golf carts in Ventura, and find out if there's going to be any kind of road repair schedule that's going to be posted.
Okay. Ma'am?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. A couple meetings ago, I did bring it up because a community member was very consistent, contacting me saying that he wants ATVs, four-wheelers, and golf carts here in Montour. So what I did was I found the state law, I found local law, to make sure that we're following every legal possibility so it's not a liability for Central County Water Control District. Out of all 29 counties in the state of Florida, Hendry County is one of the strictest counties on it, and they said no ATVs or side-by-sides on any of their roads. Okay, so we fall under their jurisdiction. Now, LaBelle and Clewiston, they can change their law to have what's called district law. So within their boundary, they can say, well, the city of Clewiston, we're gonna allow you to do this. They have the authority to do that. We don't. We're an unestablished water control district, so we don't have the authority of a city, nor do we have the authority of a town. So we have to submit everything to Hendry County, which we did. We submitted it to Hendry County, the County Board of Commissioners, and they approved it to have golf carts. So after we got that, we had to send it over to get all the rules and requirements to allow it within our 298 water district. And from that period, we've been waiting to get a reply back. So the board, Central County, as well as Hendry County did get golf carts. It's a step into moving into like Clewiston, how everyone refers us to, but we still have to wait for the requirements and rules before we finalize that decision.
How long do you think normally would happen?
Well, we've been waiting a while now.
Yeah, just to amend it just a little bit. So, in the summer, the board directed me to figure out how we could allow golf carts on Central County roads. So I called Mark Lapp, the county attorney. And there's a law, as Daniel said, there's a law on how cities can authorize it. There's a law on how counties can authorize golf cart usage. There's nothing that sheds light on how a 298 district can allow it. So on September 3rd, and I'll give you a copy of this, the county attorney and I jointly signed a letter to the Florida Attorney General saying, hey, we want to allow usage in Central County, because in Central County, the roads are owned by the Water Control District, not Hendry County. And so they're owned in fee. So on September 3rd, we sent a letter to the Attorney General saying, may the operation of golf carts be authorized on roads owned and maintained by a water control district under Chapter 198. So we're waiting a reply back. It's been there for a few months, so I would like to think we'll get something back within the year. Let me give you this. Have a extra copy. That's the letter we sent to Attorney General, that whole package.
And,
And on your road.
on roads, if there's any schedule?
There is. In the office, there is a map of all of Montour that we put pins in to say what roads we work on, what roads, we need to go back to and stuff like that. The road issue that a lot of people here in Montour have is not a issue that is being addressed the correct way in communities in Center. If you want something to be done, it's not like Amazon, overnight shipping, it takes a while. So like I like to tell people, you want something done next day, it's not gonna happen next day. I'm a board member, and I waited 6 months before my road was done. Then we had people move in, because Montour is growing. They cleared their lots, and they ended up messing up my road. He's not gonna jump off of his schedule, because I'm a board member, and go fix my road again. I have to wait until he finishes the whole schedule, as it is on the map, then go back and to reevaluate some roads that need to be done. There is machinery, there is semi-trucks, there's a lot of stuff on our roads that DOT, the state, and even signage on Flagpole and 833, that state, shouldn't be here. But what happens is a generation change. You see it growing up, oh, it's normal to me. The board members see it growing up, oh, it's normal. But in reality, in black and white, it's not supposed to be here in the start. So we're fighting. Go ahead.
If you may, I went by her road a few times already. We did her road brand new.
No.
Not too long. Yes, ma'am, we did.
No, I live on North Berta and Horse Club.
Yes, ma'am, we
You
did that
the
road.
other side.
No, we did both sides. Now, what happened with her road is her road is like, her road looks, especially in the morning, like industrial park.
Okay.
She got two semis parked, well, not her, but on her road.
Our neighbors.
Two semis parked in the back.
Right.
That 3 times, we literally have to move it 3 feet back because we changed it so many times. Because when the semi is coming out, they
that-
take it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that
There's a big
I'm
chunk out.
I'm fighting
Yes.
as a board member. Is that I have to understand that Montour is growing, and we have a lot of people who that's their livelihood, that's how they pay their bills. I have family members that do the same. But the difference is with certain people is some abuse the road because, oh, that's Central County's problem, they'll fix it. And then there's some people saying, well, this is my road, I'm gonna take pride in care of my road. So they'll drive their truck and their roads are beautiful. But then you have some who say, oh, it's Central County's problem, they'll damage the road, oh, Central County will come back and fix it. No, we're not doing that. You want to abuse of other people's tax dollars as a whole, because I can't look at this as an individual thing, I have to look at this as a whole. And as a whole, that is abuse. So like I tell those community members, when you see that, you call the sheriff's office. Dominguez, isn't that correct?
Yeah, what's your address, ma'am?
648 Horse Club Avenue.
48 Horse Club? I will look into it.
I'm on the south side of Horse Club.
So,
I
She
will look-
lives right on the corner.
I'm right on the
Her
corner.
her house have 2 paved driveways,
Yeah,
and
it's-
then
Horse Club and-
on the back, on the right side, in the middle of the road, there's always 2 semis parked there.
so to answer your question, the roads are getting done.
right.
You can call the office any day. Rosa, who's the secretary in the front, she'll be willing to say, hey, we're working on this road. If you'd like to speak with the assistant district manager or even Flacco himself, they will tell you what road they're working on. But they are working on roads daily, as the board had approved it, work through the wet season, continue to get these roads done. It is a big community issue, and management is addressing that issue daily.
And actually, right now is the best time to work on the roads because we're out of wet
Wet
season.
season, yeah.
So we have now until May to really hit this and be ready, prepared for the next race
Right
season.
now, we're on both Cypress and Berta. As soon as we finish all the way to 833 on both Cypress, we'll start on Horse Club.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Miguel Reyes?
I was here pretty much for the same reason, she was talking about the roads,
Okay.
getting fixed and the culvert, sand and the culvert coming from the washouts on the road. I just wanted to see, I know some board members come out and took a look, see where we were at on that.
And you're making reference, Miguel, to your culvert, your
Yes,
property?
my culvert that, when Mr. Santiago and Herminio come out, supposedly it was, the washouts on that road are due to my son on his side-by-side, which is impossible for, to create a 10-foot by 6-foot washout on the little side-by-side that don't weigh but about 300 pounds. But anyways, that means he would have been on every dirt road in Montero that has washouts. So the sand has gone and clogged my culvert up, and I am told that it's my responsibility.
So with that, Mr. Bennett, have you ever looked at that area where
I went there.
Mr. Reyes resides?
I don't think I.
Because what it seems like is, it seems like when it rains, that the fine material comes off the road, and, you know, water takes the path of least resistance, it pulls up on both sides of his culvert. But my thing is if we have so here's my thinking, if we have a crown on that road, and if it rains, that crown is gonna send water in that direction. I don't know how it's the homeowner's responsibility if the water's sending that silt that way. Is my question, because that's what it seems like it's happening.
Well, I had an investigation done here with Central County a couple weeks ago, like 2 or months. Yeah, let's say eight weeks ago. I had another engineer. I didn't want no one from Central County involved because I wanted another perspective. I said, here goes the money. Now give me your verdict. And the verdict that they gave me was, during 2017 when we got hit really bad and we got flooded, that water was sitting at these roads and just eating and eating and eating at it. Once it all dried out, it all had to go somewhere. And eventually that's what happened. We did take the time to go down your road. And there is some corrosion, but the way your culvert is collapsed, that had to happen over years of neglect. And I'm not saying it's you, it's probably previous owners or whatever it may be.
Sure.
After that verdict, I said I want to look at it from a legal standpoint. Who's responsible for it? You know, is it Central County? Is it the homeowner? The landlord? Whatever it may be. And the sad, brutal truth of it is, it's the landowners. Whoever owns that property, that's your responsibility. We're just in charge of maintaining the roads, the swells, and, you know, the culvert, the canals and recreation. So, same thing happened to my aunt and Lehigh Acres. Lehigh Acres is just like, you know, Montour, but they have developed and moved on. Her culvert was just like yours. They did not ask her, they did not speak with her, they ripped it out. They sent her a bill in the mail saying, you need to pay this by this date, if not, we're gonna come back and we're gonna fine you.
Here's what I'm saying. Is my understanding, once that culvert gets put in the ground, that automatically belongs to Central County. It is not on my property. You cannot hold me. I did my investigation myself. You cannot hold me liable for that culvert. However, it doesn't matter whether I put 10 new culverts in that area. The dirt, the sand from the road is going to continue, whether it's a brand new 2021 culvert or 22 culvert. It is still, the road is still washing out and plugging up the culvert. So it doesn't matter whether it's a new one or an old one until the road gets fixed.
I'm gonna give you an example. When you buy a used car from a car dealership and they give you the tires, they don't give you brand new tires. If the tire pops, whose responsibility is it? The dealership or yours?
Exactly, but I'm not responsible for your road. I'm not responsible.
You're not responsible for a road, but who's responsible for tire?
I have no problem with replacing the culvert. However, I'm gonna fail replacing my culvert right now until you fix the issue of the road.
That part right there, frustration, that can be addressed, of getting your road up to par and up to date, understandable.
His road was up to date, we did his road.
Okay.
Let me tell you, I went back there, Miguel, and I talked to you, and I showed the front of the house, and I saw what you're talking about. There is a lot of water coming to his property, to his entrance there, where the call is, from the road, and also from the ditch.
He's the first one.
Yes, but the ditch is pushing all the water every time it rains, because there's one right there when it's raining.
Sure.
Cool. And the water, all in the corner of his property, looks like a big lake. And he's going toward his, he was going toward his, main entrance there, the culvert. And if we can fix a little bit, you know, the ditch, around the
It's
property.
not because of this, it's because his cover is brought up.
Yeah, but the
So
road,
let me
I mean, the road, right there in the corner of Horse Club, where is the road that you leave?
Utopia.
Utopia. The water looks like a little lake there, and even the children, when they come from school, and they have to go back to the property back there, they have to go by that water there, you know.
It crosses over the road, so they have to step through the water in order to get off the bus, so, or get on the bus.
If we can level that road a little bit, you know, higher.
If I raise the road, his problem is gonna be even worse.
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Bid, like, so for instance, I don't experience what this resident experienced, I don't experience that, but when I went down there and seen his road as well, I'm like, well, if we put a crown and we put more material, I can just see, even with a new culvert, I can see his problem not going away. His problem's it's not gonna go away, and I don't think it has to do with the culvert. His problem's not gonna go away.
We're still responsible for grading ditches, keeping the ditches
Yes, sir.
clean. And, so it comes back to, if they're unpaved roads, you are gonna get material that washes off the road.
Correct.
No matter what. So, we don't have the power to clean the ditches every time it rains. And our ditches are not necessarily graded right anymore, we've talked about that.
Yes, sir.
So you're gonna have pockets where some of this stuff's settled. We've got culverts all over the place that are collapsed, caved in, set at the wrong elevation, so I don't know this particular situation without looking at it and looking at the elevation. But if it happened to be in a low place, it's acting like a sump, so everything that does wash off the road is going right in.
What about if we build a new
So
driveway in his property?
it is going in his culvert, but, you know, coming out of our ditch, it may not be graded over, so I don't know.
That was my point, Mr. Bennett. If the ditch has not been graded since, what, 20, 30 years ago? Is the last time somebody ever probably graded the
We don't
ditches?
know what the grades are.
Okay, or the road hasn't been fixed in over 2.5 years, and you have sand. Most of the board members that were there, I scooped the sand up, even somebody from Henry County with it. You grab a cup and it's straight sand. There is no fill there. There's no compaction, no poor grading.
Sorry to cut you off, how long has your culvert been like that?
I've been complaining for 2 years, February 10th, 2 years ago.
That it been collapsed
Yeah,
and damaged like that?
yes.
So you never had that problem before?
No. This started February 10th was my first phone call, which somebody doesn't remember, but we wrote it down. It just, I forgot all about it.
And how long have you lived at that address?
For 4 years now.
Mr. Bennett, can you take a look at it, because I'm looking at the elevations, and all of us saying, even if you grade it, even if we put a crown on it, I see water flowing there.
Well, that corner of that property is way lower than the road, the paved road.
And your address again?
So he's gonna get
24
water.
Horse Club Avenue.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, Mr. Bennett, I have been there where the stop sign is at. So like, for instance, his biggest problem is at the beginning, so water has to start at his property and travel all the way down. But with it pooling, doesn't help, but I don't think that's where the problem, I think the problem lies is when the water hits that road, that dirt road, which is what, Utopia?
Yeah, Joe.
It's Utopia, it's dragging that fine silt to that low area, and that low area is in its thing. So again, it's both, I think it's both, but I think it's, my personal opinion, I think it's more on us because that's our responsibility. And again, I'm not defending it because that culvert does look bad, but I don't think it's, even if you had a new culvert, I would see the same, I believe we would see the same results unless we fix some type of elevation or made the water go in a different direction, not to where his culvert's at. Because if I'm not mistaken, let's just say he did work on it, right? It says, okay, water, we're gonna work on it and we're gonna put a crown at my entrance and make the water go,
two towards the canal, then we might have an issue with them doing that as well. Reliability purposes, hey man, you did something. There's a lot of residents right now want to back blade as they speak because, you know, we have so much to do. That's it right there.
Yeah, and then, you know, the washouts, a couple of them seen it, even past my house, the 10-foot washout, EMS, if needed so to get to the end of the road, there's two little kids that live at the end of the road with their parents. A heart attack, a little girl, you know, something happens, they're not gonna be able to get by. They're gonna have to stop the ambulance. If their dad's Tahoe slid from that washout all the way into the ditch, just imagine what that EMS, it's gonna take them seconds. That matter of seconds could be that little girl, that little boy's life. But for some reason, somebody rides by and oversees that every day. How can you just ride by and not bring this
But yeah,
to
do you have, down your road, do you have heavy equipment that is down your road? as well?
There's a truck driver that lives next door. Yeah.
One?
There's one that has,
One's legal in the county.
yeah, there's one, somebody that knows him every couple of days he may park on the side of the road. I have contacted the sheriff department when I've seen him there to get him off the side of the road, but it doesn't happen.
And that's further down, so that part of the road probably is a little banged up as well because of the heavy.
Yeah. The washout that I'm speaking for, the neighbors, it's about 2.5 foot deep, as far as 10 foot long all the way into the ditch and about 8 foot wide. That's how big the washout has gotten in mine.
Well, I hope we can resolve this issue.
It's not a washout, it's a hole that they drove it.
From turning?
Yes, it's not a washout.
I hope we can resolve this issue before we start on our.
I do have a question though, I do have a question. And, you know, you guys are looking only east cover, but I'm looking over 110 miles of cover.
Sure.
So, I'm on his situation, 90% of Ventura is on his situation. So, just keep in mind that if we decide to change his cover because it's blocked with sand, 110 miles of people is going to ask this board to do the same thing for them because we have 110 miles of dirt roads.
The thing that we
And
have,
every single one of them, that little dirt goes into.
But that's what we as a board have to do. That's why it's so important to have elevations, to have grades.
No, I have no doubt. I'm just saying that.
And that's why we've got to get to the 21st century.
Right.
But if we're causing that problem to happen, it's on us.
That's what we need to keep in mind. That if it's coming,
That doesn't happen, thank God, that doesn't happen at mine, but I mean, I have seen some residents that do experience it.
Right.
And I know some residents that have been here from the 70s, and, you know, because of the low elevation, they're horrible, they're worse than it is.
Yeah.
But no, I know what you're saying, but sooner or later, like I told you, we've got to get these elevations right. So Mr. Reddick, can you have something for us by next meeting, since we come up with a resolution? So we can.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your patience, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, anything else?
Good night.
I agree with you.
next one we have Ileana Hernandez.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to get permission to use the easement. I live at 460 North Orbalita,
Sure.
and then I also own 450 North Orbalita. There's a 10-foot easement in the middle,
Correct.
and I need to replace my fence since it got a lot of damage from the last couple hurricanes. And you asked me to do...
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sure. A sketch on what you're trying to do.
Yeah. This and this.
Becky, can you make some copies for us?
Sure. And I got this years ago at 460, so I guess I need, and it has the alleyway there.
Sure.
But then, since I also purchased 450, I guess maybe the back will do that.
John, she was at the land use meeting asking about that, you know, most properties down Arboleta have that, I think they're platted, if I'm not mistaken, most of them are platted and have that alleyway in the back, or depending where you're at, front or
I
back.
got 460, 450,
Right.
alleyway right there in the middle, and then I do have.
And then the one, her her back neighbor, which would be, they would live on the 833 side, they have that alleyway as well. which
Yeah, I think he
needs
already-
an alleyway for utilities or
Yeah.
whatever in the future. I think that's what that all was there for, if I'm not mistaken.
So you have the 20 and the 10? Or just the 10?
She has in the
I
back.
have the 10 in the middle between both properties, and I guess.
She has a 10 and 10.
Well, it says they put 7.5 feet, and I did that years ago.
Gotcha.
But then I saw
On
on
the
the
460.
survey was, 20 feet, so I guess the 10.
It's
and
10
then
of your back neighbors and 10 of yours, which is a 20-foot alleyway. So what she wants to do is to have access to that 10, but I believe that's what told people in times past, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is if there ever is a problem, we like to be able to get through that easement, to get to whatever it might be. The only thing is, I don't know how that happens because you're not the first one, you're not the first.
Family, it was families.
Can you do that on 460? You're not the first lot on Arboleta, you're further in, correct? No. From the road? From
Are you the
road?
one with the neighbor and the fence and,
460.
right? Okay, so her property, it's, the other guy wants that and she wants that, so.
No, they want to use it. They
Well,
want to fence it in that area.
I was looking for the survey because I had a new survey done, but this is the old survey that I had. I have lot 4 and I have lot 5, so I got the 10 feet here in the middle,
Yes.
Okay.
5 and 5, correct, and the 10 in the back.
the 10 in the back, and then just the whole 10 feet there. Yeah. So,
You're more concerned on the back one or the front one?
well, I'm assuming, he's already put up his fence, the neighbor 450.
Gotcha.
So, I'm assuming then I should be responsible in cleaning that area up, I guess.
So if we're looking at your property, you're talking about this lot?
It's easier if I just.
She owns two side by side.
Yeah, I own, this one, 460 and 450. So I wanna put a fence, replace my fence, so, I was gonna.
Your house is in the middle?
Right here.
So there's your house, this one,
No, I own this one next to it.
this one, and you want to put your gate here.
Oh, no, wait, this is all the way right here, here and here.
And this is where you're putting the gate.
No, this is 450.
Okay.
So, like this.
Okay.
This is the neighborhood, this is the alleyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she wants to most likely connect the two properties that are adjacent to each other.
And you
But there's also an alleyway in your back as well that butts up to your neighbor.
As long, I don't have a problem with that as long as we have access through it.
But see, this is,
No,
Well, there's not gonna be.
there's a little 20 feet that it doesn't belong to her or the neighbor.
It's the easement.
it's the easement.
Okay, so that 20 feet goes from side to side, but also the neighbor right next to her on the other side owns like 20 feet
So right through the
inside that easement that doesn't collapse with the neighbor in the front.
Sure.
That's where the problem is.
Yeah, because the horse club is like this, and
Yes.
the Arboleda is like this.
Correct.
So, basically, I just want, to be able to fence this area in, because,
Your neighbor.
my neighbor,
It is off 833.
833, I guess that's, I want to say 450.
This gentleman right here. That,
Right.
right there.
Yeah, because I don't think you can really go through the easement over here.
That's where most people want it, right there. That's where most people want that. That easement right
That
there.
easement that goes from here to here,
Correct.
okay, you see that garage there?
Sure. It's in the easement.
There's a horse. You can't even drive through there.
Right. That's where most people
So all that is
want.
already fenced in.
Right.
So I just want to be able to fence in this part here, for my property.
But you want that, this part as well, is what you're asking for as well.
Well, if I have to, I'll probably just do it there, or maybe I won't even put a fence there because, my neighbor already did his fence. So the one next to it on this one is like overgrown, so I can always just maintain.
And
that part, yeah.
John, any
I can
questions?
maintain the
I'm
two.
not sure, so she has 2 lots.
Yes.
So what bisects those lots is an easement.
The easement's right
The 10
here.
feet, the 10 feet, the board already agreed for us, you did the
Right, the
paper, we can
license.
sign that part for her.
Yeah.
The problem that she needs from the board is the 20 feet, not the 10 feet. The 10 feet is fine.
Okay.
Well, I'm more
I got a
concerned
hand that
with the-
just shows the 10 feet.
Yeah,
Where's
I'm
the
more
20?
concerned with just the 10 feet, just to put a
Oh,
fence.
that's easy. I mean, they can.
The 10 feet, you just need to go to the office, like
Yeah.
I told you on the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but they
a,
said I needed to come here to show and
No,
then to
for
get the
the
letter.
20 feet.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
the-
For the 20 feet.
For the one in the back.
Yeah.
For instance, this
I'm
app,
really concerned with that because what I can do, if not, then I just won't put a fence back there.
Yeah, that's
since
what
they
most
already
people
have
want.
a fence.
Gotcha.
right.
So I can actually just maintain that little area so at least my yard looks
Yeah,
good.
they have a form, because the 10 feet out, they do this all the time, it's very common. They have a form that you fill out, and
Okay.
it's going to give you what's called a license, so that you can use the easement area. You
Okay.
take that license, you can go to the county, if you need a building permit, they'll accept it.
Yeah, because they told me I needed the letter so I can put both
Yeah.
properties together, so.
They have, it's like a form, but it's all official.
No, but that form, it doesn't give you the right to put both properties together. It gives you the right to fence both properties, including the easement.
Yeah, but before I can combine the properties inside, I need the letter showing that I could use the easement before I
Okay,
can.
so that's different. Okay, so you want to do what's called a unity of title.
Yes,
Okay. So, you can do that, but understand, you can't put a building on that easement.
oh, no,
Okay.
just,
Yeah, no problem. You go ahead before.
all I do is 450, I just turn my truck around and just park right there. But I don't damage any roads.
Can we get a motion on the floor, or do we need a motion on the floor, John, for this?
No, I mean, it's a very routine process. Just go to the office and.
Good sketch.
Okay?
You need to be an architect. It's good,
I
it's
draw
good money.
paint, but that's as far as.
It's good money.
What other job is in
I hear you.
And if you.
How many feet?
Oh,
Yes,
that's.
sir.
You attorney?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also, who do I have to see for the,
The office.
Becky.
so come see you tomorrow?
Yes, we have four.
That's fine. Or tomorrow, whatever works for you. What do you need?
Alright, I'm not sure, we don't have a name on this one, but Sharon Martino?
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good to see y'all.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, if you're putting off good citizen, yeah, that's me.
Okay, good
Yeah.
thing.
You wanna go
No,
ahead?
no, go
You got a
ahead.
name and address?
Let her go,
Okay.
I'm a citizen, that's
Well,
all.
y'all know me by now anyway. I live Sharon Martino. I live at 170 South Kennel Street. Been there for over 26 some odd years. And I'd just like to know, when are we gonna get that road done?
Which road?
Pardon?
Which road?
Kennel Street, all the way from Pine Cone to Perimeter. Have any of you drove down today, down that road? Anybody?
Yes,
I
sir.
drive with them money.
We drive it quite often. There's a
Okay.
lot of complaints on.
Yeah, well, I've seen them cut the grass. Don't have a problem with that. But I haven't seen anybody out there grading or anything in the past 6 months.
Of your road?
I live on Kendall, yeah, and matter of fact, today I had to take my grandchildren to their other grandparents that live on Ball Cypress. I have to come out on Bell Sur and go down to Cabbage Palm, drive all the way to Ball Cypress, turn down there, and then go to her house. Because I can't travel that road. It's
Well,
gonna mess up my,
we just did all
all
the
of
way.
it, all of it. From Pine Cone all the way to Perimeter,
We
the
just-
whole strip.
We just did all the way from
You did the road?
Montura to Hunting Club.
But when's the last time you were up there?
Sharon,
Yeah,
this is not a back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Let it speak.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
It's all right, let him speak.
I'm very passionate.
So we just finished Montura through Hunting Club,
Mhm.
brand new road. And we also did Pine Cone all the way to the canal.
Mhm.
The other side, we keep grading it.
I haven't seen you in 6 months in my road.
That doesn't mean we're not doing it.
I live right there, I don't go nowhere, I stay there.
Time out, y'all, hold
My
it,
children.
hold it. We're not gonna start debating, and the inquisitions are not gonna start here tonight. I'm not doing it. You said what you had to say, you answered, Mr. Chairman, and we move on. We're not gonna have these inquisitions,
Oh,
Mr. Chairman. I'm having enough.
I'm tired of you putting
I'm
on the
having
back
enough.
burner like that, what, you gonna ban
I'm
me
telling you,
for
it's
a
got to
year?
stop today.
You know?
And what's your address again besides Kendall Street?
I'm sorry, I apologize, 170 South Kennel Street,
70. South.
South Kennel Street. Yeah, I appreciate it if you get out there and look at it, do something, maybe grade it, you know, it's been a while, guys, it really has.
No problem.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good citizen, you have an address? Name and address would be nice. I'll let you go back to
Is that by law?
If you want to speak, if not, you can sit down.
This is a public forum.
If you want to obey, if you want to
Tito
listen.
Torres, Tito Torres.
Okay.
You don't need my address.
Thank you. You don't need the address?
Hey,
You don't live here?
If you wanna speak, you have to give your address.
No.
Okay,
By
so
law?
you can sit down.
It's by law.
You can sit down. If you're not gonna, if
This
you're
is
not
a
gonna
public
abide,
forum.
if you're not gonna abide by the rules, brother, you can sit down.
281 Northeast 49th Street.
Thank you, that's all.
Oakland Park, Florida.
Thank you.
Oakland Park.
Oakland Park.
Yes, sir.
You're not a resident of Central County?
Does that matter?
Yes.
So only residents can come to that building?
Yes.
Yes. If you don't have residence in Central County.
This isn't open to the public?
What, not to,
Central County,
what does it matter?
It's not, what do you mean, what does it matter?
If you're not a resident of Central County, what does it matter? Why are you gonna take other people's time that live here, that pay taxes here?
My mom owns property out here.
Okay.
Good enough for you?
Maybe.
All right. What you mean
Can
that?
you leave the address of the
I
court?
like you. First question, Mr. Manager. Is Mr.
Your question needs to be- your question
Okay,
needs to be-
everybody. Okay.
Hey, Tito,
Did
can
the
you
board,
give the
did
address?
the board call
Can you give the Mala
Mrs.
address of the
Clemens?
property, please?
Excuse me?
Can you give the Mala property address?
No. Did you, the board or whoever it was, call Mrs. Clemens a liar by stating that her road wasn't graded yet?
All right.
That's just a question. It's a question. Is it a question? Okay, Mr. Attorney, you said that the county can't say yes or no for the quads, golf carts and et cetera. So who said no to the citizens of Montreal?
Nobody said no. What?
So we can
they're looking at, no, listen, you asked me a question.
Yes, sir. I apologize. Go ahead.
Let me
Repeat,
answer
yes.
it. Okay, I'll repeat what I said
Thank you, sir.
before. When the request was made by the citizens as to whether or not we can use golf carts, the board asked me to look at the issue. I researched it and determined there's nothing in the statute that talks about the process for allowing golf carts. There's a process for the county, there's a process for cities, but there's nothing for a 298 district. So I called the county. I said, take a look at this, tell me what you think. The county attorney reviewed it and said, yeah, we don't see any authority here. So together, we wrote a letter to the Florida Attorney General asking them for guidance. There's a process that governments can ask the Attorney General for an opinion. And I gave the lady here that letter. Yeah, and so we did a lot of work and we expect the response back any day now. It's been there for about 45, 60 days.
So pending the request that you guys submitted, county, which has nothing to do with us.
Correct.
Okay.
The county has nothing to do with it.
But you did it with them, according to their response to you, so that means you.
Because we have an agreement
Yes, sir.
with the county. Correct. We have an agreement with the county over management of the roads, like we have an agreement with the sheriff's office, because we can't manage, we don't have the capabilities to manage the roads. That's why I coordinated with the county attorney. But in the end, the decision as to, assuming the Attorney General says, yeah, you can do it.
Yes, sir.
And the ultimate decision, it will be up to this board whether to allow golf carts or not.
Okay, so you coordinated with the county because you didn't know for sure, and you wanted to reiterate with them the issues that were happening here within the
Because I
community.
know they looked at the issue several years ago. So I called the county attorney and said, shed any light on this?
Okay, would you be able to answer me why those years ago, there wasn't an issue to ride golf carts and side by side?
You're talking about here?
Yeah, here in Cluson, I mean, Monterey, yes.
Oh, people do things all the time. They don't necessarily have the right to, but they do it.
But somebody came along and asked law enforcement to enforce the laws that were in place, which is understandable.
That's true.
Do you know who asked them to enforce those laws?
I do.
Would you be able to elaborate?
You're looking at them.
So the board did?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Waste control, the garbage trucks. We spoke on how the trucks are coming down the road, doing Mach 3, slamming on the brakes, tearing up the roads, right? So I spoke to, I believe, the manager, because he was actually out here. You have the older gentleman, 50s, okay. Stopped him, he was out here, checking out his workers. I asked him, hey, what are you doing out here, you know? And he explained to me, I'm watching what my guys are doing, because we got complaints from the board that our guys were doing what you said they were doing. So he said, he's actually tried to contact you numerous times, and you never responded back to him.
He hasn't tried to contact
Never
me.
once.
Not once.
When was the last time you spoke to him, if you don't mind me asking?
Last time I spoke to him was when we brought up the subject and I contacted his office and they told me, well, we'll get someone in contact with you. Same thing. That's an issue that I've been getting answers from. Like recently we had the Underwood project and I contacted our county commissioner, Iglesias, and Iglesias also told me he'll look into it, and that was 4 days ago.
Okay.
So it's an issue that is, my office is very on top of them.
That's the White House?
No, that's Central County.
Oh, okay.
And that we're trying to address because it is a big issue. It's $1.2 million a year that we're giving Waste Connections to abuse their contract and not obey their requirements.
Their liabilities are to its arrest, okay. One more thing, the gentleman that was here talking about the soot getting into his culvert. What material are you guys using to grade the roads?
Okay, I don't know what they used prior, but when I came onto the board, we now use DOT certified material.
It is certified now, okay.
Yes.
Because a while back, there was some material using that wasn't.
I
But now
can't
you
speak
guys
on
are.
that, but as long as I've been on the board, we've been using DOT certified material.
Okay, just to clarify, Mr. Mata, since you're not too interested in reading your phone while I'm speaking, I can't ask the manager anything, right?
No. Nobody said that. You need to address the board.
Okay, board.
Yes.
Would you agree that he or somebody's calling Mrs. Clemens a liar based on her road being graded or not?
Well, you can see it that way, but again, I don't know.
I disagree. I disagree because
You weren't here when he
it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Hey, listen.
Can you ask Mr.
Hey,
Martin?
don't interrupt me because
You interrupted me.
you're the one that's gonna sit down. I can talk when I want to. He said that he did it. That's what he did. He's not calling anybody a liar. You're coming up here trying to start problems, trying to insinuate that he's calling
defending
somebody a
my
liar.
community.
He's not
It's
calling
corrupt
anybody a liar.
tyrants. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
He's
whatever.
not calling anybody a liar, okay? He simply says he did it. Do what you want with that, man. I've had enough of these inquisitions. This is what this is all about. You don't go to the county and do this because they'll kick you out.
Because they're respectful. I don't have to know that. They listen to the community.
You be
when they go out there.
respectful, we be
The
respectful.
county,
Let me tell you how I
just
treat
recently,
people.
there's many of our community members that went out
You
there
be
and they
respectful,
listened.
I'll be respectful.
You respect
You come
me.
up here with
Okay,
your
okay, you my
attitude,
father.
and I'm gonna give you some back.
Deputy, can you speak?
Yeah, he can't.
You gonna raise your voice to me like you're my father? Hey, watch your tone with me. Like I gotta watch my tone with you, right? It's a mutual thing. I'm not here to make your jobs harder. I want you guys to excel at your jobs because you excelling at your jobs makes my community better. You understand? You can look at me, see I got tattoos, I look the way I do, and discriminate against me. Listen to me, you spoke to me personally, and I don't know how to bring things up.
You went over the 3 minutes, so just sit down.
Mr. Santana, are you gonna do that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're disrespecting the board members. Sir.
I disrespected what board?
Yes, when you talking, you disrespected the board members.
Also, can you elaborate?
And you went over the 3 minutes.
Can you elaborate?
You went over the 3 minutes. Sit down.
Anybody else?
It's not done.
All right, if not, we'll go into the meeting, old and new business. All right, the first one is part-time position to permanent. Can somebody shed some light on this?
Yes, sir.
Anybody know who's the reference to?
Have a good day, man.
Arminio or Becky, can you shed some light on this one?
Daniel is the one.
Can I?
Bless you.
Yeah. It was a position, if many of you can remember, I think it was third or fourth meeting, that I asked for us to create a position to better help in the office, to address some of the issues that we had at hand with overwhelming call volume and a lot of other things. The position was created as a part-time to see how it worked out. So far it's very successful. The only thing is the employee is not working on a part-time schedule. They're using the employee vastly every day. And I'm getting a lot of great feedback from the community. The only thing is, I think as a board, we need to make the position permanent, not as a part-time, so that that employee can capitalize on the benefits. They're giving us their service and diligence and providing great service to our community. So I think we need to make the position full-time.
So you're looking at what? Part-time position? Full-time?
Yes,
Made a reference to Rosa, right?
yes,
So she's basically a full-time,
yeah,
and she's needed.
yeah.
Yeah, but we're approving part-time.
Right, well, my conversation with Daniel was that I don't think it's fair that we've been using Rosa as a full-time and she's not getting the benefits as a full-time.
As all the other full-time employees, and I agree with that.
Any questions from the board?
She's working enough hours to be full-time, don't put it in. What you have to do that. I mean, obviously, she's being used, but we're not, it's.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I put the motion to make Rose's position full-time.
I second.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second by Board Member Santana. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All four board members approved. Thank you. Here, right here. Vote on 2021 amended budget. You want to speak on that before?
Yes. Each year, whenever, like we did the budget for the year 2021, we're doing it during 2020, so it hasn't been audited for the numbers. So there's a statute that says when the audit is finished, you have to amend your 21 budget for their year-end fund balance. And it's the number, the bottom of the revenue, where it says prior year carry forward. It's 2,978,000. So that was what fund balance ended up being in the audit. We were required to amend the budget just to agree to that number. We were actually only $15,000 away in our investment another year.
So this is last fiscal year.
This budget is already over. We're still required to amend it for the audit balance.
Understood.
That's what it is.
Anybody have any questions?
So are we, we're good?
We're good. No
Okay,
comments. No comments.
that's all I want to hear from you. That we're good.
You need a motion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs,
We have a motion on the floor.
I make a motion.
We have a motion for Santiago, Board Member Santiago. We have a second by Board Member Santana. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, who's gonna pick up on this one? Permit of C-139 drainage and adjacent property.
What is that? Oh. That's the,
Is that the?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. I'm ready for that one, boy, I'm ready.
Okay, you want to start it?
You want me to?
Don't let it
All right.
start, it's gonna go through.
No, this is simple. We know we have the water coming in on property.
Yeah.
My question is, are we sure that he has that right? We're positive, before I move on,
I
okay.
actually, found in researching the thing, I went back to our water control plan.
Yes.
And I did find in there where it states that their property does.
Okay, so that's the natural flows. They have to, okay.
Water main district recognizes that, they have a good permit with us for that C-139. But I don't know if there's other property
Here we go.
That's the issue.
Here we go. I've done it. I spent a lot of time with him. I've been on his property. He's a good guy who wants to cooperate. And what I see is the only place water's coming to the property is from across the canal. We blocked those culverts up many years ago. Okay, but there's a piece of plate sitting there with a gap this big on it. Now the idea is the water pushes it this way, but we have to go back and reseal all of all of those culverts.
So it's coming across
Well,
the road.
he's getting a lot of it on his property. It's a mud hole now. He's got a lot of water there. But I saw it after that rain that night a week or so ago. We had that real heavy rain that night. You and I were debating how much rain we got.
Yeah.
I went there and you could see a little, first of all, the plate was back about this, when the water's coming in, if the water's higher on that end, it's gonna come over. And you can see a little bit of water moving, not a lot. But, you know, with all the problems we had before, I can imagine, and I never looked at it before because we weren't aware that, we just assumed all that was sealed up. But I think that's where the water's coming in. So we can help ourselves by simply sealing that up. He's willing to pay some taxes, whatever. I rode his place. He's got a big bank on the south side from Lico. And I mean, it's up there. There's nothing, I saw water coming in nowhere. Now, on the north side, between us and him, there is no dike. Now that water comes across the road, you know, and it can go, it's actually over here. And I can say over here, I'm picturing that. It comes across the road, it comes out that ditch, and it comes back around the corner. Some of it comes onto his property, some of it comes on our little swale that goes down, what is that? Appaloosa, okay. Appaloosa, it comes down that swale. There is nothing separating us from him for a good ways down through there. So, when he's got a lot of water, we're gonna get it. When we got a lot of water, he's gonna get it. So, you know, at some point, I think we're gonna have to address that.
Well, we rode there, I went by there after that, and his property is right next to Appaloosa, all the way from 833 to Fronda.
Yes.
And then it turns around and
yeah.
all that stuff. Okay, so from Appaloosa to Fronda, there is no swell.
Right.
On his side, and his property is still, until today, full of water.
Yes, it's full of water.
Also, is giving us water by Hacienda and Canal number 1.
Well, but, you know, if you look at it, because Benny and me went back and forth and around and whatever. If you look at it, some of that water is also going into his property out of Appaloosa Road.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no ditch.
It's going into his property by Appaloosa, close to 833.
No. What I mean is that the water that ends up on the swell on the north side of Appaloosa, it ends on Pine Lake. But on the other side of the road, on the south side, there's no swell. So all that water is basically going into his property.
I went by Appaloosa, next to his property the other day, and inside his property looks like a lake.
That's his property. That's exactly it.
He has flat ponds in his property.
Yes.
Quite a few of them. I mean, we know what that is. It's lowlands, it's wet.
Yeah, you can see it from 833.
Yeah, that's not the problem. But like you said, from 833 all the way down to that road goes this way, we can go back and forth. The water can go back and forth.
The issue
on that west side, when you make the turn, the water can still go back and forth. You make the next turn and it's all, now we're back north again where the ditch is. It ain't going back and forth. It's all going from him to us.
Right. So now what happens is his lower side is right on the corner of Hacienda and Canal number 2. So
Canal number 1.
No, 2.
That's number 2.
On Canal number 1, there's also a bridge.
That's where you block it.
Exactly. Yes. But then we realized that his lower side is actually on the other side because the water didn't anything but.
So there is water coming from him to us and from us to him.
Well, it's not much from ours to him. It's basically 90%.
But on that side, though, you just said it. We could be feeding water from that area onto him and getting it back on the other side.
Right.
I mean, so
But isn't that because it's like 300 acres?
Yeah.
He got 356 acres.
And I think it was you called, this was a couple of weeks when we had that bad rain. You said there was like 3 feet of water stacked behind that berm that we had put up.
Yes.
you can't get that much water from unimproved pasture, like it's gotta be coming from somewhere else.
Well, that part, I don't doubt it, but it was 3 feet of water. You can ask Benny and.
Right, but I'm saying, it's unimproved pasture, so he's part of the storage, his property is storage.
Yes.
Right?
But he's getting a lot of water on that property.
Right, so it's coming from somewhere else.
When he tell you, it's the north side of the road, it's right there.
You told me it's coming from another farm.
From where?
You told me it's coming, water. You told me it's coming from another farm.
Coming from across the road.
Yeah, from across the road.
Now, we've been here before with Joe Barton many years ago, and he said that it was not happening. And I remember when it took us, hell, a month and a half to get this place down after a big storm. And we went from a month and a half to 5 days when we blocked him off. So that wasn't a lot of water. I mean, we pumped him for 3 or 4 days before we even made headway. And I have film of that water coming across the road. I mean, it was coming. And they said it wasn't no water. So anyway, we blocked all those off. And I thought maybe that last culvert down here had been left out of that agreement. It hasn't. It's there. It's got a piece of steel on it. It's not sealed properly. How much is coming through there, I don't know, but I agree with what he says. There's no way in the world there's that much water coming off that property. There's nowhere pumps on that property. There's nowhere that water was coming in. There's no ditch. I was there. I run it all over. He took me anywhere I wanted to go.
He don't have no ditches.
Yeah, right. So,
his property is all flat.
So let's talk about this. There was an event that happened, and we didn't experience it even in the Woodland area, which is the lowest part of Montour. The Woodland area is the lowest part of Montour. But I know our pumps ran for a long time on this side, as well as a lot of our residents on this side of Montour, Appaloosa, I believe, did feel the effect and were flooded out. So, and most of it was because of that event that was coming from that property. So what, John or board, what is our step to try to alleviate this from happening again? Or, again, to run diesel and all kinds of stuff, there's money involved, Mr. Bennett.
Well,
do we have a cost for that event?
Before, yeah, $44,000. And it's
which wasn't all his though.
No, it was.
Oh, okay.
In general.
So we got to figure out.
Yes. So just so you guys have an idea, I went by there yesterday. We still have water coming from his property into Canal number 1.
Yes.
It's still on
Not a lot though. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot, but it's still.
Exactly. That's where we want to put the pole.
You can see it from 833. There's tons of water.
Yeah, it's still coming
and that's on the top side.
The way the water was coming in to canal number 1 and to canal number 2 that you showed it to me.
It was gushing.
It's like somebody was pushing out water with
That's what we thought, but then after talking to the guy and Benny went inside his property and all that, we realized that it's just a lot of water from 356 acres just going to the lower side.
And the whole in front. You can't convince me otherwise. I've been here before and we were right last time with all that Hilliard property. Same thing was happening.
And I ought to go look at all those costs. Because if some of them even up this way are leaking, it may be getting in that 833 roadside ditch and going down. It may make sense to go look at all of them.
And I can tell you, before they were blocked, I'm serious, we would pump for weeks and never make any headway. The minute they were blocked, you saw headway in 5 days. I mean, it was bang. I mean, it was a big deal. We were pumping, and they argued it was sheet flow, and I'm sitting there with a camera. Like I said, I saw what it was. That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of water coming across because I didn't go to this corner until after this event. Right. But if we go back and we do every one of them, make sure they're sealed tight, and then I think we need to go down that canal. I think at some point, and that doesn't have to be a lot. If we start now, and I said this many years ago, it would have been done if we'd have done it then. Every so often, go down there and put you a little bit of, build you a little swell like this. From 832, start coming down that way. Just start coming down. Every chance you get, take a couple of loads of whatever material we got around here. You don't have to buy it, and just start doing it. Like I said, having done it last time this happened, we wouldn't be here today. But here we are. So we start doing that, and I propose, if he's gonna be able to dump water on us, and he is, that's Canal 2, where the water's coming in.
One and two.
Yeah, okay, well, where you and I were at, we need to put a big culvert there with boards. You know, doing a good job there, patching all that up where it will hold water, and then he's agreed to all this.
Hold water back onto him?
Well, yeah, to keep the water on to him, because he's also, now, y'all ain't gonna believe this, he tells me that during the dry season, it's a desert there. So he would like to hold some water in, and even suggested, how could he get some water? I'm thinking, hell, we pump water off that place all the time.
Take it back.
My point exactly. So we're gonna get into an agreement with this gentleman. He's willing to do it. So we put a culvert in the back. We start putting our little swell up, and he's already figured out how he can pump. So he needs water. Let him throw his pump over and get all the water he wants. That we ain't gotta worry about it. It's a win-win.
The only thing that it got my attention on that property is that normally in South Florida, with a couple of exceptions, the water goes from north to south, not from east to west.
Yeah, but.
Well, some places I know, but normally goes from north to south. On his property, and this is where it comes, what Fumero says, that maybe he's getting water from somebody else too. On his case, his water goes from
West to east.
West to east.
Because of the natural sheet flow.
Yes, that's the natural. But remember, Joe Marlin's water did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what they said. That was on that, you know. At the end of the day, he had the drainage. He has a drainage district, which his water would go around us and through his drainage district. Well, of course he didn't want to do that because it was free for us to pump it.
So what are we looking at? So we don't beat this dog.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
So I think we need to have an agreement with this landowner.
Yeah, hash it out.
Right.
We can do it right now.
Yeah. And the second, I think I like the idea about that culvert with
The riser.
The risers. Keep in mind, this guy doesn't really use the land. It's like he's a gentleman farmer. He has some. One of these days, someone's going to buy that property, and they're going to want to drain it. They're going to say, "What the hell is that riser doing there?"
Well, hey, they buy the property, they buy the agreement. Don't they buy the agreement, go hold it. We got the agreement. He's got to live with it,
No,
doesn't he?
the razor is gonna be on our property, not on his property.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be our
I
property.
know it's going to be on our property, but it's going to be holding water back on his property.
Right.
The guy who's there now seems to be a nice guy. He doesn't really use the property. He doesn't care. But one of these days, somebody's going to buy that property and want to drain it like most people do.
Come on, man.
That's going to be an issue. I'm just saying, mark my words.
He's raining all over my parade. No.
Now, that's good. I don't know how long
But listen, now's the time, but you're the attorney, obviously. So, if we make this agreement with him, doesn't the next owner have to live with it?
No.
It's historical, it's already, no.
Well, if you're saying you want to do an easement, recording the property records.
He and I both agreed that we want it done legally, bound, contracts, everything. So when this board leaves, he's got protection and the right way. We'll be at this again.
Where it will inherit whoever buys it?
Yeah, we definitely want that inherit
No,
clause.
so when you talk about real property, contracts don't run with the land. So if you have like an easement, that's recorded in the public records, that runs with the land. But a contract is between Mr. A and Mr. B. So Mr. B leaves, Mr. C isn't bound by it because it's between Mr. A and Mr. B.
All right, so we're gonna put an easement down that back with a culvert, and then we're done, whatever it takes.
But if you wanted to do it right, that's the way to
Let's
do it.
cover our behinds right now.
Let's do it. Record a drainage easement on the property.
Figure out what we need to do to get it done right the first time. So we don't, because again, we're going to experience something like that.
Yeah, we're famous for this over the years.
So if you do that, because originally we were gonna work out a cost share agreement with you. But if you're gonna do what you're doing, then
Well,
I'm not sure we need
Well,
a
I think
cost share.
let me do this. Maybe see if this works. Maybe we figure out something with him for temporary for the time being, but also let them know, hey, this is what we're looking at moving in for the long haul, because you might not be the owner, forever, you know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say,
This will
let's
bind
get this
right
bound
now.
right now.
But at the same time, just let the owner know, hey, we're looking to, get the easements and everything and have something there that works for both parties.
How much do you think that, taking a wild guess, and it is a wild guess, because water came off his property, it's hard to say how much, but again, some of our water was going back on his property. God only knows. What would you think we spent from him? You said 40 was the total, 10 grand?
If it's 44, I would say like 8 to 10 grand.
Okay, so if we charge him, I want to leave this in stone, gentlemen, so he can start on it, we can get this signed. I'm talking about quickly. I don't like to let this go too long. We let it go too long. So you figure 10. If we charge him $2 grand a year, he's been paying for 7 years and he's been there. We'd have $14,000 to the good. Boom, we're still $4,000 ahead.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a terrible amount. It's going to kill him for all the acres he's got, but I think it'll help us too.
But the other thing we gotta think about is that was 3 days of rain that happens in the whole,
Well, that was more
We
than
were already saturated
Right.
though.
But you
We
know
already
what?
we had a very wet season. We were already
Right,
saturated.
but until those 3 days of rain, we didn't have any
What
water
more
from
than
him.
Mr. Bennett, it was more than 3 days, it was a whole week.
Well,
We got about 11 inches that week if my counting was right. So, but, Mr. Bennett, is there a rate? Is there some kind of table we need to go by? Otherwise, my numbers, I said 2,000, maybe it's 1,500, maybe we're charging too much.
What would our assessment here be if we took out John May, this budget thing? If he was paying just the drainage part of what our regular assessment is here, he would be using our roads for our recreation. How much of our assessment revenue is just drainage?
Have we ever split that up? Because I was thinking the same thing, 300 acres times, but you don't know how much.
we don't really have,
Right.
That's
on
what
our
exactly.
tax,
That's
on
what I
our
said.
tax, we
Flat
don't really
fee.
have.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be a flat fee, and plus, I mean, he sounds like a reasonable guy, but
He is
to a
reasonable.
point.
Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. When him and I were riding around, I said, and I swear, I said, 5,000-6,000 a year. He grumbled, he shook a little. He didn't say a word. He said, whatever's reasonable. I mean, but that's way too much money. But we were guessing at numbers. And after him and I talked earlier about this, we knew what it was. I didn't remember. But again, you're guessing at what he dumped. And again, it's happened once every 10 years. So if you charge him $1,500 a year, you're money ahead.
So Benny, can you get with Mr. Bennett, Mr. Romero, come up with something, present it to the board so we can vote on something?
Well,
I gotta hash it out here with.
No, I'm saying, for the meeting, so we can
I'm
keep
ready to
going.
hash it out right here, right now.
I think 2,000 sounds good, but we need to hash out the agreement and.
Well, can we agree that with all the formalities that you need to put in it and agree on a number, and then that way you can have the contract ready to sign? Because it could be another 30 days again. And what happens if something happens, if he falls over dead?
Benny said
Something happens to him between now and then.
$180.
What?
So it sounds like it's not.
Is that too much though? Maybe we need to go to 15.
I don't think 2,000
It's
is
about
about.
166 a month.
Yep. How much did
The man's got over 350 acres. When he paid for that,
Weekly, we need to talk about this right now. That was gonna be he gave money once and made the statement that he was doing us a favor and he wasn't gonna do it. So again, I'm trying to wrap this up as soon as we can. So, 2,100? 2,100. Y'all, can we vote on that? Let them go ahead and get this paperwork together? The motion says that they put the formalities in the agreement necessary and 2,100 a year, and let's get him a contract. He's ready to sign.
The guy's name was Carney, right?
Doug Carty, yes.
Carney, okay.
It is with Fort Lauderdale. It spends a lot of time.
we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Aye.
We have a second by Mr. Santiago. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Good deal.
All board members approved. Thank you. Just make out the formalities, John, and
You got it.
And leave us some room for easement in the future.
Yeah.
Real quick future.
John, I
Hey.
believe D is yours, vote to
Yeah.
the ruling on the quorum?
Yeah, so in September, I presented to you, and it's funny, it's very timely, rules of the quorum about public comment. And you all wanted to have a chance to read it. So, are you ready to vote on it?
Yes. Any questions?
Always in September, but yeah.
Any questions?
This was, recall, after we had that incident.
Yes.
We should have told me, write up a policy. I did. Wanted some time to.
I believe we should approve it. We should approve it. What's the policy say?
That you're gonna not use curse words, be respectful, limited to 3 minutes. It's about
Then who's not gonna be,
4 pages.
who's gonna be respected? Everybody's gonna be respected.
So it's,
pretty
there's
much at the
opportunity to be
beginning.
heard, you know, district welcomes comments from the public, in a public meeting, time to speak. Each member of the public is allowed the opportunity to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes during public comment. Comment cards, member of the public who wishes to speak or make their position known to the board must complete a comment card. It must be recognized by the chair. It's 8 pages.
It's pretty much, in every meeting, it's the second page of every meeting, just so everybody knows, it's always been here.
Right.
The thing is, previous boards have never used it, but, I mean, it is a meeting, it's not designed to go back and forth. We do welcome you guys' comments, but it becomes a 4-hour meeting, which it shouldn't be a 4-hour meeting, because there needs to be something.
I'm not concerned about the 4-hour meeting. I'm concerned about the inquisition that we've had here. And I've had enough. I will not stand here and take any of it. You come up there, you say what you gotta say, you're done. He'll tell you, or whoever will tell you what you're gonna tell. That's the way it's done in the city of Clewiston, the county, it's done everywhere else. Like you said, Mr. Mata, not going back and forth. And the interrogation starts. That's gotta stop now.
And this policy, the keeper of the house is the chair. And when you ask, you know, technically, not just when a member of the public addresses the board, you, the chair, says, okay, and Minio respond. Hey, Fumero, you respond. You determine, you can, but at most board meetings, let me say too, no one can speak until, and when I say no one, I mean us.
Correct.
Until you ask the chair for permission. That's technically, now, that's pretty strict, but that is technically how a meeting is to be run. That is the very role of the chair, is to keep the process moving and make sure there's order. And then this policy, the chair can say, we've heard enough, it's done.
Do we have any questions, comments on that?
No, I'll go ahead and take my lick for my part of it. But I'm serious. I am not doing it. I'm done with it. I'm not doing it. People come here, they disrespect it, they think it's okay. I'm not doing it.
Well,
I'm done with it.
again,
I'll tell you right now.
it comes with the job, and to be honest with you, we don't take anything, I don't take anything personal, but at the same time, I do live here as well, and it works both ways. You can disagree, like I tell people, if it's that easy, there's a seat available, right there. There's a couple seats available. More than welcome, come get these $50. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Shit, I'll give it to you. I said it, I'll give it to you.
There's a lot goes on here, and there's very limited amount of money. Now, we could raise taxes for everybody, we could start burning everybody up, and we could have, and get everything you want, but I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna like the numbers, and you said that, I just wanna reinforce it, we live here too, and we're, you know, I was very proud of the fact that we have raised taxes in this community in over 20 years.
The thing is also, but it's what I tell people, because a lot of people have misinterpreted a lot of things. I said, so you think us board members wake up, we live in this community, you think we wake up to make this a miserable community? You really think that's what we're here to do, to make this a miserable community? No way. The thing is, there's hard decisions that have to be made. We chose, when we ran to make these tough decisions, I don't run to be liked, I run to run this thing as much as possible. I try to use your input, but at the same time, I have to look at the whole. I have to pay attention to the whole, not just the few, that pay attention to the whole. And then live by what the decisions we make. And sometimes they're bad decisions. Huh?
So you don't do
Are you
this?
serious?
Actually, I did a pro bono the first year, to be honest with you. My first year was pro bono. Actually did all this for free. For free, so you'll know that.
Wait, on the record, for free.
For free.
Yeah, that's right, didn't they, yeah.
Is that true? The first year.
The money got cut off, didn't it?
I
Yeah.
didn't get 1 penny. So again, I'm not doing this for free. I'm doing this to, like I said, I told people, I'm doing this to raise a better community. We are transitioning, as you can see, so we do need good leaders on this board. So if somebody is better than me, more equipped than me, please run. I appreciate for you to run. We want better people on this board. I don't have the answers to everything, but again, as we work together, I believe as we work together, you want to point fingers, I can throw 14 back at you. It's easy, but that's not what builds a community. What builds a community is coming together, even with our differences. It's okay to have your difference. It's okay to have your opinion. It's okay to have your idea, but at the end of the day, we still have to look as a community. We have to go forward as a community. And because there's a lot of big decisions that have to be made. And if you don't think there's work to be done, there's a lot of underprivileged kids that need mentoring out here. There's a lot of underprivileged kids that need help. So instead of spraying somebody, help the kids because those are our future here. Hopefully they're going to lead us into a better community. That's what I'm hoping. I'd rather for them to be leaders in our community than be leading the mug shots on the walls of our Henry County, because if we're not careful, that's what we're going to raise a bunch of thugs in this community. That's not what we want. I don't want to have to kill one of your kids because they come to my yard to go into my house. Don't want to do that. That's why I want us to have things in our community. I want to provide stuff for our community so our kids don't have to turn to these bad things, bad choices, bad decisions.
You got the talking in you today.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Go ahead.
And again, that's why we need to raise funds for our kids. I believe in our kids, I really do.
And just so y'all know, we're after money pretty hard. Most people don't realize it, but we've been after money pretty hard this year, so.
So we'll take your 50.
Yeah, you can have my 50. I don't care. I donated to
Nobody's up here doing it to get rich. But believe me, there is a board, there is a seat, hopefully, John, on your report you'll talk about, but we do have a seat available. So you're more than welcome to feel some of this weight. Not a problem. Next one is, so the rules of the quorum. Do we need a vote on that one, John?
Yes.
What's
Do we
that?
have a motion on the rules on the public comment?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm back thinking about
And
what.
as you can see, it's here also, public, it's here. I'll do it for us to conduct ourselves. In a meeting setting. Do we have a motion on the floor?
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Aye.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, all in favor, Becky. Make sure I say that. What's up, Mr. Giggles, you okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to either discuss and vote on the mulcher for the boom mower. I think that's in your report?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So as you guys know, we've been cutting a lot of trees and cleaning a lot of canals, and we really struggling, especially with the cleaning of the canals. We're spending a lot of money that by the numbers that we run, it's not supposed to be spent. We using, so you guys have an idea, we got the excavator operator, the bobcat operator carrying the trees out or the garbage or whatever. And then after that, we had to get two other guys out of doing roads or something else to get the flatbed and the loader with the grappler so we can carry those trees out. Most of the trees we're not going to be able to move it out. We will have to go back out there, cut them in pieces with a chainsaw so we can carry it out because it's a liability on the road. They're 150 feet long.
How much?
We've been asking for a mush head for a year or so now. I understand the money, I understand the budget, all that.
You have quotes here, brother?
Yes, go ahead. So I believe this is a good time. We do need both of them. The reason why is because The one that goes on the boom mower doesn't have the power for real trees, like trees. The one on the excavator does.
What excavator?
How much?
The 190E or.
What's the price?
The price on the one for the boom mower is 18,000. The price for the excavator is 47.
Let me ask you a question, because I just bought one.
Right.
Where's the price for the one that goes on the boom?
The boom mower.
The
One for the boom mower is the Tiger, the Bengal.
With a small print, thank you.
Yes. That was Becky's fault, it's not my fault, let's put it on Becky.
What are the dimensions on this?
Okay, so the price is $18,000, and it can only go through 8 to 10 inches of trees, or bushes. So this one is
That one's no good.
that's the one that goes for the boom mower.
Yeah, what's the one that goes on the excavator? Sorry, I might say it wrong, I'm sorry. That one's not gonna work.
The excavator is from Doug's Equipment.
Can you get them to demo these out here, we can see how they work?
I went to go look at one. I went to go look at one.
I wanna see.
I watched the video.
No, I wanna see them motion trees.
Oh.
Which one did you
No,
get?
no, no.
Dang, you
Which
need names.
which one did you price?
1 second is dead, next second is gone.
The 48,000 Doug's Equipment is for the excavator. This one is
What are the dimensions on that one? Sorry. The price that they gave you was on which head? There's 3 different heads here.
for the big one.
Keep on. Which head? 36, 50?
The BH40 with the FGT head.
Yes.
It's right on the front. It's on the letter in front.
12 to 20 ton?
Is BH40. BH40.
And where do I find it in the book?
So which is? Let's just find it right now.
I want to see the dimensions on it, so I can compare apples to apples for you. BH40, so we're looking over here. It's a 30-inch, 36-inch working wheel. I believe I've seen it right here. The one that says the bullhog on it.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a 36-inch working wheel. So let me get you in contact with a vendor that I just purchased this, not too long ago. I just purchased one not too long ago, and I did not pay nearly that price. But I want you to compare apples to apples to make sure. But yeah, this is kind of expensive. And this is, if it is a Fecon, it is the top of the line. We're not getting a shabby piece of equipment. Now, the only problem is, no, that's no problem. The only problem is, what you have to pay attention to is the equipment that it goes on. The equipment that goes on has to have exterior, what's it called, Benny? Exterior radiator, whatever.
190G, we have it.
Because it's gonna make your equipment run hot, because of all the pressure.
I'm aware of it. We got with the person on
Because they usually don't.
Doug's Equipment.
Because they usually don't disclose that information until it's too late. Oh, by the way, you need to add this to your machinery.
No, when they decide to buy the 190E, they really got a good equipment. You can do all different attachments to it.
So let me get you my contact and let them compare you apples to apples and see which one's better. This one, it is top of the line. If it's a Fecon, it is top of the line, but it's a different vendor.
Can we talk about this one? The Tiger? The one that goes on the...
That's gonna cost a problem for that machinery. That machinery's not equipped to handle that. I could be wrong, but go ahead. Go ahead, speak on it.
The reason why I think we need the one for our tractor is to clean the sides of the road, because I don't know if anybody has been down these roads at night. I'm
Yes,
sure
some
it's
of
pretty
them
black. And some of these trees have extended into the swell.
True.
So you have to pass the road a little bit to see if a car's coming. You know, and we have had incidents when I worked at the sheriff's office where people on 4-wheelers were driving by, even on a horse. They don't have no lights, no reflectors sometimes. And, oh, okay, I don't see nobody. And you go, and you plow right into them. You know, so This right here is, it's cheaper, but it's gonna help solve a bigger issue that we are dealing with now, as I have heard in the community. Well, don't you guys are in charge of the swell, and all of these trees are on your swell?
That's true.
So aren't you liable? And I'm really big on liability. So my thing is, we need to get this, at least until we can get an estimate or something on the excavator and the other one, and get these sides of the roads
I got
cleared
a
up.
question, Mr. Chair. Now I'm gonna do things right. Mr. Chair, I
Go
have a
ahead.
question. Can we afford that $50,000-$60,000 excavator?
Excavator.
That whole setup. So I'm all for this machine, but if the one that goes on the tractor, we'll go on the tractor. It's not too big for the tractor that we already have, and it'll get the job done at 20 grand. And I say we spend the 20 and run. Throw all that other paperwork away, because I'm telling you, 30, 40,000, 20,000. I mean, guys, y'all gotta remember, we gotta hold our dollars. We gotta hold our dollars. So if one does it, then forget the rest.
This estimate is from the same company, same person, same sales person that provide Central County with the boom mower. So these attachments are literally made for that. It's not like it's gonna be overweight for that tractor
Right, that's one.
or anything like that. It's
One
all,
made a good point. Yeah, you don't want to throw something on it and kill the tractor. Otherwise, what are you doing?
no, it's the same company as the one we have right now. So all the attachment that they do is all comparable with that tractor.
So let me ask you this, what makes more sense, to have it on an excavator or to have it on a tractor? Because what you're gonna tell me is, oh, by the way, I have it on this tractor, but now I can't get to the other side of the canal.
So you answering your question?
I'm just,
It makes sense for both of
The
them.
excavator don't float either.
Yeah.
Let me be honest with you. I'm more concerned about roads being fixed. I agree that we need to take care of this, but man, some of our roads are in bad shape.
I understand that, Mr. Mara, but when you hear about roads, I hear about everything. So I'm concerned about everything.
Yeah.
We have a lot of branches coming out. We have a lot to go with everything.
If you want me to buy equipment, I need some road being fixed, because cold patch, we're going through cold patch like crazy, and I'm playing Frogger going down Hunter Club.
Yeah, that's a waste of money.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that we're not gonna buy this equipment
I'm not
until we finish with the road.
saying that at all. I'm just saying as a board, we need to pay attention to everything that we're in charge of.
Well, that's what I mean.
The roads are not going anywhere. That's gonna be a problem.
Shit, they're going
They're not
somewhere.
going anywhere. We're repairing them, but I see, this does need to be addressed at some point. You go to LaBelle, you go to Cullis in our local areas, Lehigh Acres, Fort Myers, wherever you go, they have wooded areas. You will see them once a month come down the road. It looks ugly, but it lasts. And I think we need to come, we do have a lot of wooded area, we have a lot of development, a lot of places that are growing.
So what do you look? What's the price that you're looking at, Irving? What are you looking
To propose to us as a board.
Provide both if we can. If we don't, we can start with one, whichever you guys want to buy first.
I propose we buy the one with the mower, and I agree with what Mr. Mata said. We gotta look at roads, but we can't neglect. You got someone comes out of one of them areas with all those bushes, and we've just had this discussion, and we didn't buy anything, and they get killed. We're gonna get it.
Right, no,
We're liable. So,
that's
with
not
all
what-
that being said, we need something. And I don't know about two of them. I think we get the one for the mower, it moves faster. You can get from place to place without having to put it on a trailer, and you run with it.
Verify that mower, that this head will not make that mower run hot.
It's already being clarified, Mr. Mara. It goes.
Just do it one more time.
Down.
Because you talk to everybody around the lake that has it, the equipment's running hot because of the mulching head.
Okay.
It's just like the people that do the mulching here, their machines are running hot because of the head, because of all that pressure going through there. The equipment is designed to do certain things. Now, when you put a different head on there with all that power, all that driving force, all that heat, it's making the temperature of that machine that we pretty much you have to stop until it cool down. It's like a radiator.
Right.
So just pay attention, just make sure that you hash that out. Hey, by the way, our board is in favor of this, but we want to make sure that our machinery is well equipped, because once we buy something, we can't go back and say, hey, by the way, I want to return it.
So from my
But
perspective,
just so you understand a little better, we already went through that.
Okay.
It's been already told to the guy, this equipment
Yes, sir.
is meant to be changed
Gotcha.
between chainsaw, saw, 36 wide inches saw, the blades, it all go with that tractor. So if what you're telling me is to go back and ask the guy.
I would just do it one more time, just to make sure, say, we want to make this purchase, but we just want to make, because I don't want to go back to the board. Oh, by the way, I have to now buy this transmission and this cooling system for this tractor to make this heavy. Just want to make sure that.
All right.
I got a better idea. Why don't we ask them if we can demo it? Will they let you demo it?
They will not allow you, they don't rent it, they don't do nothing with motion heads.
can we give him the approval as a board? Get the information first, because he can get the information within the day or 2 days. Contact us all through email about what the feedback is of the data, and we can.
I want to make a motion that we let, like Mr. Mata said, check it, double check it, make sure it's the right equipment. If it is, buy it. That's my motion. That way we don't have to do this again in another month.
I second that motion.
We have a motion on the floor, Mr. Albert has a motion on the floor, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So what was exactly what you guys voted on?
It's
The correct mulch head for that tractor.
for the Steiger one.
That one over.
Yeah.
And if it is, you have the authority from the board to purchase it.
Make sure that they understand if we start having heating problems, we're sending, it's coming back. I
And
mean,
we're getting a refund.
I'm serious. Make sure they understand it. You gotta write it on the bottom of the page, make him sign it. If this thing runs our tractor hot, damages our tractor, you said the specs are correct. If it does, we're sending it back.
Okay, so everything is clear. I can always get an email from the guy saying that that's the attach that goes with that tractor.
I would suggest that.
I'll forward it to you guys and then we go ahead and.
But be a little more specific. That is the one that's designed for that tractor.
Yes.
I wanna make sure you're not having any overheating problems with these tractors. Let him answer the question. The
Well,
direct question.
that's the main reason why I went straight to the company that built that tractor.
Okay, but again, let Becky, put him on the spot. Hey,
Yeah.
you're paying $20,000 for that piece of equipment. He's gonna answer you one way or the other.
Okay, so I'll get the email, I'll send it back to you guys, or I'll forward it to you guys, and then if everything is fine, like you guys want it to be, and all of us, we can go ahead and.
You have the okay, we just voted.
Okay.
If, once you jump that hurdle, buy it.
Another thing, Arminio, and you know, that's a very dangerous piece of, that's a very, very dangerous piece of equipment that we're about to approve. There's cars going by.
Wait. You mean that you guys already approved, is everything is okay?
It's fine, but that's a very, I'm just telling you, that's a very dangerous piece
I
of
know.
equipment. That's a big liability.
Yes.
Things are gonna be flying in all different
Wait.
directions.
Hold on. Does this affect our insurance?
It's done now, ain't no backing up. Go ahead.
No, it's.
No, I get what Juan's saying, though. You gotta be real
Yeah.
careful. You gotta really think about what
We
you're
have
doing.
had incident, we have had incidents where people have tried walking by the mower.
You shut it down,
lifting the
you
wheel.
shut it down.
Yeah, we have all
Anymore.
kind of.
Anymore.
We see the piece of
I'm
wood
not trying to
coming
be
out from the
on the
wood mower
news.
right now. I completely understand what you're saying.
What I'd like for you to do is, and the manufacturer will, is he comes out here, provides a display, provides training for our team in-house. Hey, this is how you do it. You see that car coming? By the way, stop, because that debris can fly.
Yes, that's.
And hit a vehicle, bust out a window. It could hit a kid. I don't want any of that. Because again, every good thing that we do, there's always a risk involved.
That's included on the estimate.
What, child?
No, for the
training
person to come over here.
Oh, you gonna say liability?
I said liability, that's hard. Sign me up. Thank you, Rubinho.
No problem.
Next one, discuss and vote 60-foot long reach excavator. Is this you as well?
Yes, okay, so this is not really like looking to buy an excavator. I can see you guys are already afraid of
We're not
the
afraid, brother, we bought the.
much head for the excavator. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I just want you guys to understand why this piece of it, or machinery is over here. So, we got a rental, 60-foot excavator right now. So that equipment goes $13,000 a month, right, Becky? Or $12,000 a month?
Yes.
A long boom, what you got?
Yes.
Long stick.
Yes, so we had it for almost a month and a half or 7 weeks now, and we are barely reaching canal number 2. So, and just keep in mind that canal number 10 has never been touched, ever, in 60 years. So that's gonna take, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months to
Would the mulching have helped?
to clear. No, no power for that. So, we have a rental right now that is got, by the time we finish clearing everything, we doing the right way, as you guys see on the canal bank,
Sure.
we're gonna be a good over $60,000 on rental. Just renting every month.
This is for drainage, correct?
This is for drainage, yes.
Good, I have an idea, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know, it goes into $1.6 million maybe.
Hey,
So,
that's what I'm talking about.
So that machine, by the time we finish,
Yes, sir.
you know, depending on weather, this and that, it's gonna take a good $60,000 to $70,000 to clear the entire, all the canals in Montura.
Sure.
Maybe more when we get to canal number 10. You guys have a couple estimates. This is for the future. We have, we contacted United Rental. They have used machines. You guys have one example. He says he can get more. So that example is $74,000 for a used machine. There is 5,000 hours. He says they will come with a warranty. I forgot how much was the warranty. Yeah, that one. That one is 60 foot. You guys also have an estimate from Kelly Tractor. A brand new Caterpillar is $250,000.
Yeah.
He shows them, you know, the two ends. So you guys have an idea. But I suggest for you guys to keep that in mind, because that's not in mind for the future, because we're gonna be cleaning canals every year, including the reservoir canal.
Okay, so my question, sorry.
Just give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
So this $70,000, so you guys have an idea, does not include cleaning the reservoir canal inside. That's only the canal in Montura.
So my question is, we're renting one of these
Yes.
that we can purchase for the price to rent.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
For the price that it's gonna cost when we
To rent
finish.
one of these, okay. And, okay. And this is something you need, what, an answer to immediately?
Well, that's just examples. If you guys wanna vote on it, that's up to you guys.
And what would?
I'm just bringing it to the board so you guys notice where we're losing money.
Okay.
13,000, how often?
A month.
A month?
Yes.
Okay, so next month it'll be another 13 here.
So it's literally taking us a month and some cases a little more to go through each canal. The reason why I'm saying this is because canal 1 and 2, it has a mile less than every other canal. So just keep in mind that it's gonna take a good 5 to 6 months.
How do you oversee, how do you see the workforce taking on all these jobs at the same time? We're talking about roads, swales, ditches, cleaning the banks, cleaning the brush, which I'm all for. But I don't think I see that all happening at the same time.
Oh, we all happen at the same time. All of them are happening at the same time.
We have that many persons?
No, we don't. That's why you pay me. To
No,
manage
I'm just saying.
all that.
Okay.
So it's all happening at the same time.
Okay.
So
That's why I'm saying, I think with a great plan in place, that's what we wanna see as a board. We wanna see.
Well, that's why I'm
machines-
bringing this,
machines
because
working.
we're losing $70,000 for a machinery that we, no matter what, we're gonna need.
I just, can you,
Unless we wanna lose $70,000 or $80,000 every year on renting a machine.
is they're allowing us to finance this?
No, that's United Rental, that's a one-pay deal. Is that it shows like the one that Benny got us for the generator.
Do we have this in our budget to make such a big,
How's the generator doing, by the way?
Awesome.
Okay,
Purchase
now
like
you
this?
ain't telling me.
It's a total out.
Don't mention my name.
This-
$74,000.
74?
What about those, I went to a few seminars, Mr. Boyd, where they talk about, it was SCBA or SBA, something like that, and they talked about equipment like this being able to be financed for long periods of time, especially like for farming, community, stuff like that. Is that something that we can find and creative? What I don't want to see, and I think it is a great thing, don't get me wrong, I think it is a great thing, but a lot of times we're paying off this equipment really, really fast. Can we stretch it out a little bit longer so we get more bang for our buck?
I'm not sure how far
Like say for instance, 10 years instead of 5.
that lasts that long.
Yes, I mean, people with heavy equipment, even when it's wore out, no good, they'll put it on the auction and get a pretty penny for it. We're just looking for creative financing
Because-
to make these things happen.
It's something that needs to get,
Right.
purchased, but the thing is, do we have leg room to make that purchase?
I wish we'd have something like that to build roads.
Hey, we had to push on that grader, and that grader was a really big cut.
I'm talking about the
We
paving.
could have ran the for it.
Can we find some type of creative financing that we can reach out to a few institutions and find out what they'll do with us? Because I'm pretty sure we have a pretty good credit rating here in the credit score. We pay our bills on time.
If we do that with the bank, just like people don't to buy a brand new car.
Yes.
You go and ask your bank for a loan.
That's
Then,
what we were getting with him about.
But with the two tractors,
Right.
we don't pay, we pay monthly. I know that at the end it's like $30,000 a year, but it's
Just trying to make,
It's half of the other.
doesn't
It's not
hurt
even
that
close
much.
to-
You-
Yeah.
trying to make the penny stretch.
Yeah, not even close to this.
We don't want to pay cash for it.
No, sir.
No.
We gotta be able to borrow money from the bank
Yeah.
and secure the loan with the money we got in the bank.
Yeah.
For
Well,
God's
that's
sake.
why I'm asking for the bank.
If that-
because
if
we don't
worse
have
comes
to
to
pay.
worse,
Look for some creative,
Because
look for some creative
Yeah.
financing.
Yeah.
If you would, even if we had to put a percentage down, that's fine. But I don't want to pay it off like, hey man,
Yeah.
pay it off in 2 years. I'd like to see our, for instance, that machine might last 10 years. As soon as we pay it off, boom, hey, it did its job.
Secured by the city.
Yeah, we wanna pay $200
Those
a month.
manuals, you know,
We get that pay, but then we turn around and pay slowly to the bank.
Yeah.
It hurt less. Then, I get it. $40,000 a year for a machine is not, but then on the other side, then it hurts that $70,000 that we can use on something else.
Thank you for bringing it
every
up,
year.
you're right.
those are the tough decisions what we're talking about.
It's
So can you find
banging
some
on the
creative
door
financing?
every
some
month
creative
we got that
financing?
bill, $13,000.
Can we hold off on this one until next month so we can figure out?
Yeah, that's why I got it today, so you guys can,
You got it, okay, that board?
But can we give him?
Hey, I like it, I like it.
Hey, heavy machinery is like cars, there's good deals and then sometimes there's not good deals. So my understanding is what happens if he could find something else cheaper that, it's a,
Well, the good thing is give Mr. Board an opportunity to get some financing, because he might be able to say, hey, by the way, board, we were able to secure $150,000 at this amount with this down for this many years.
Okay.
And then he might be able to find another sweeter deal. Could be.
Let me ask you something,
Could be.
this is completely cut off. All we get you money from the wall and 4 to 6 million.
That's a very good question.
We collect it.
canals?
This canal is clean this year.
Yeah.
It's drainage, it is drainage.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking,
Wait to get the 1.6 million.
that's been the issue.
Remember.
Yeah, but that weight is costing us $13,000 a month.
We're not getting the cash.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting the benefit of the project.
That's correct.
The county's gonna administer the money.
Correct.
They're gonna hire contractors.
Who's gonna minister the money?
The county. They're not giving us cash.
And the county's gonna,
They're gonna say, here's 1.6
Henry
million.
County.
maybe they're gonna keep it to themselves.
No.
And they keep on
Oh,
taxes.
they're gonna try.
I wouldn't wanna see no more.
They're gonna try.
They signed the.
No.
They-
We're waiting.
We don't
to
want to
get
hurt
the
anybody's
money.
feelings. We
No,
tell you.
we're waiting to get money from our taxes, from our residents, from the county. And they haven't given us nothing back as far as I know.
We're working on it, we're working on it.
Work in progress.
I will tell you that it's the most positive I've ever seen.
But to answer,
And I will tell you.
Hey, tell me about that, Mr. Alvarez.
No, honestly, I think I sent it to you guys. The county manager called me
Yeah.
day before yesterday. She's on something, she asked me a bunch of
We
questions.
want $500,000. $500,000.
but let's go back.
That's almost.
You think to something because Benny keeps throwing
Let's get back on track with the first thing.
One thing I wanna ask you,
The,
on behalf of what I asked you.
yes.
Let's say we get a loan from a bank, okay? To buy, purchase equipment, the excavator, right?
Sure.
And then when we get the money, hopefully, from the county, of the 1.6 million, they can give us, we can get the money to pay for the loan.
Well, to be honest with you, Mr. Santana, I'm not sure about it. Maybe Fumero can say something. When we asked for that money, we were really specific. It's a federal money, so you gotta be
Drainage.
penny by penny where you're going to use it.
Without drainage of the canals.
However many $70,000 is worth of
So
drainage.
when we put all that package together, and I'm talking about a lot of people work on that package, it was this amount of money for
FEMA. The FEMA
400 covers, this amount of money for pump station number 2,
Sure.
this amount of money for cutting the swell. So I'm not sure, but I don't want you guys to make a decision on buying a heavy equipment thinking that you guys gonna be able to get it out of 1.6 million.
No.
If you've given them itemized list of what's gonna be spent on, you're not gonna get it back.
You're the lawyer.
Yeah, that
You're
right.
the one that have to have an answer.
Yeah, I'll tell you the answer. He's right. The money is going to a project. It's not, we're not getting a sack of cash. Say, here's one.
Right, I understand.
We put it out.
It's a project, culvert replacement, a pump station.
Cleaning the canals.
No. Cleaning the canals are nothing to
That's
do
already
with
been
1.6
submitted.
million.
It's been submitted already, right?
I think,
You forget about it, they ain't gonna get it, yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
So, just to clear.
It's all about drainage, but it's for
But
a
it's for
specific
specific projects.
project.
So what they're gonna do, they're gonna put a scope together, they're gonna put an RFI,
Let's try to do it. Let's try to do it. If they say no,
Get the bid, and they'll be the ones overseeing the bids that came in with the project, and then they'll award it to
well, let's try to do it. If they say no, okay.
We're not gonna get any money, I can see that already, what you're saying.
But I'm
They're
saying,
gonna pay straight to that contract.
Right,
That's all
right,
it
right.
doesn't matter.
But I didn't
They're gonna
realize
pay
that y'all had
straight.
already submitted what you planned. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Oh.
how can you work that in there somehow, and it ain't
that's
gonna
already
happen?
in there.
Yeah, forget about it, it ain't gonna happen.
And this grant money, you have to use that as a
Oh, and you have to submit reports. It's FEMA money. You gotta track every penny of it.
So we're not gonna be able to buy any equipment, nothing that has not to do with what says on that.
Right, it's
So
submitted.
this
forget about it.
project is gonna save us money that we would have had to
Right.
spend on that.
So we can use it,
We
right?
can now spend on something else.
Let me ask you
I
something.
have motion on the floor, I wanna make it.
Then from the money that we're gonna get, hopefully,
Be
from
inspired.
Henry County.
No, we're not getting money. from
No,
them.
let me finish what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
You don't know what I'm gonna say to you.
Okay.
From the money that we're gonna get, hopefully, from the taxes from our residents. Mr. Alvarez is working. Can we get that money to pay for the excavator.
Oh, I like that one, you see?
Yeah, if
I like
the county gives us a
See,
check.
now we know what I was gonna say.
No, that's not it.
I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I'll wait till it's my turn, and I'll give you a little report on that deal, but I don't foresee us getting cash in hand. I foresee this going.
Projects.
And projects.
Well, employees buy that equipment
Yes.
first.
So,
They can buy
but
that equipment.
Mr. Fermetto said it right. If we got $1.5 million for drainage, that's money we're not gonna spend, so we can take the money that we have. We need to wind up this machine right now before it gets gone, and I'm talking about 13 whatever a month. It's killing me already. You should have told me that.
Oh, I stated that.
So the motion.
That's more for me.
So John's got,
Remember I stated that?
and John's gonna call the bank. I can't imagine the money we have some of the banks are not gonna loan us $70,000 with security.
You'll get a loan.
Okay, so the motion is, let's pick up the machine. And we buy it, and while all this is, do it all at one time. Get the loan, we're talking to whoever, and we'll get the machine. That's the.
You said which one?
Which machine?
No, I knew it.
It's complete.
Listen.
For used ones.
Mr. Boyd, if you could find the creative financing for us, get it to us as soon as possible, so we can have something to prove, because they're itching to buy. They're itching to buy, but I wish it was
We're not
something for
itching
the
to buy,
roads.
we're itching to save.
I'm hoping they buy a paving machine so they can pave some
Well,
roads around.
paving ain't saving.
I hear you.
Paving ain't
We
saving.
ain't in the saving money business, we're in the maintaining business.
We need to save the money to maintain business, where we can't maintain what we got.
Save Montour Road.
Yeah, you can forget that one to the
T-shirt,
road.
Save Montour Road business.
Yeah.
All right, so we have direction there. Let's beat this next one to death.
Wait a minute, any board members want to push this further, or are we gonna let it go to next month?
Oh, we should.
Still have a chance to make the motion.
You're more than welcome.
You want a motion? Is it
I'm
for what
chairman.
machine?
You the motion.
What machine?
It's complete.
Say it.
Denied.
Kill it, hold on. The motion
This
is,
is too long.
the motion is that with, how do I do this?
Purchase a used from United
I'm scared.
Rental.
Yes, purchase the used from United Rental, while John's securing finances, we go ahead and start putting this deal together, so we don't lose it. Okay.
We've got the cash to actually pay for it, and then come back and finance from the back end.
Well, there it is.
Let's do it.
That's no 13.5. We're gonna get that 13.5 back this month. All right. I love them payments.
Can't wait till you go to
Are we buying the used one or are we buying the new one?
No, that's a used one, man. Come on, man. If we buy that new machine, we gonna have to leave. Sell it.
The new
Wait.
Board of the
I
house and leave.
haven't heard you put a motion.
The motion is that we go ahead and secure the machine, buy the machine.
The
While
paving,
he's,
the paving one?
no, the digging one,
Trying.
the used digging one, while Mr. Boyd secures our financing, which is,
So we have a
no,
motion.
no. Second.
We have a motion on the floor for the United Rental $74,000 machine, and Mr. Boyd's gonna see what we can do to get creative financing. If we have to, we can pay it with what's in our funding and then get the bank to give us a loan on it.
We've got collateral on these CDs and stuff.
Yeah, we surely
are against them.
Surely they can give us
Second
that.
motion.
So we have a motion on the floor, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye. There it is.
Thank you.
That's it. The used machine, throw that literature away on that new machine, you're done. If he hadn't told me about that $13,000, I've been all right. But
Hold
kill it.
on. By next meeting, we should have it out there with a bow. So we can.
Hey, if you don't believe me, I can show you the bills.
No, I believe you, but since you said it, it's been worrying me to death.
Next meeting, you better see it out there with a bow.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta spend money to save money, that's what we're
Well,
doing, in case anybody wants to know.
He almost peeled his pants when he let him know inside the office.
It's 7 weeks in with that.
Yeah.
So it's almost 26.
Don't remind me.
Okay. So you saved a whole lot by doing what you just did.
Yes.
Don't worry, wait till we get this paving machine.
Here we go.
Next one, discuss and vote on traveler's insurance. Is that you, Becky, or go ahead?
The board requested that we look into a different company.
Sure.
And in your binders, you'll see on the front page, I attached, it's EGS. EGIS, I'm sorry.
This one right here. In the front of it.
She did a,
Take all that out, you wanna see it?
It's in the very front.
it's in the very front. It's on a colorful chart. And it basically shows you the comparison between, travelers. But you're missing the colorful sheet.
Y'all always do that.
This one over here.
You don't give me the colorful
I
sheet.
did,
Oh,
right here.
sorry. No, I can't see. Oh, okay.
Right here.
Thank you.
And she tried to, do apples to apples.
Sure.
But she did send me an email, late this afternoon, that there was, according to the traveler schedule, and the equipment schedule that we sent her, there was, some things that were off. So the numbers might be off by a little. But as you can see with them, with the EGIS, they service over 600 water districts. And they're more familiar and hands-on than travelers, which is more broad.
Who?
Florida Insurance.
Yeah, she said
Yeah.
EE.
I keep saying EGIS.
Yeah, well, I don't see no E, I
I'm
see
sorry.
FIA.
That one.
Oh.
It's right here. It's
Wait a
right
minute,
here.
hold on, I was giving this. Y'all killing me, man, y'all killing me. We got so nervous about that money, I can't think about this.
And they deal with, the special districts.
Florida Association.
Yes.
Yeah. I think he's right. So FIA, they kind of specialize in government coverage. As you can see, if you do a,
Yeah, just keep an eye
basically
on-
for the same amount of money, we get better.
Okay.
You can see it.
So neither one of these is the company we have now, right?
Yes, no, we have travelers now.
Ours
We have
is travelers,
Is that what we
yes.
got from John?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
But the other one's
That's
sometimes
why
we
we've
get
been
more bang
talking
for
about
your
this.
buck.
Well, we're gonna save how much?
We're saving
Save money, you're gonna get better.
You're gonna get more bang for your buck for a little bit
A
more.
lot better.
Yeah.
But it is a lot less expensive right now. If you see, we're saving almost $6,000 from travelers.
If you're going with Jake from State Farm.
You're saving 2.39%.
Yeah. What's the 1,400? You're talking 4?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a lot better coverage.
I'm sorry. It was, we're getting, you said it right for the first time. We're getting more for our money
Right.
because they're more specific and detailed to each water district.
What do you need, a motion from, you need
Said
the board to
right
approve
here
it?
that the premium if matching expiring values would have been 48,000, instead of 10,507.
Yeah, that's the number I keep looking at.
And if you compare both columns, you're gonna notice that travelers doesn't cover a lot of stuff.
And these guys do.
The other companies, and the deductibles are way lower too.
Yes.
Well, was this presented by the other insurance company?
Yes, she wanted to be on the phone. I called her, but she's at another seminar right now.
Yeah.
So it kind of overlaps. She was gonna come, Ismari, her name is Ismari.
Because the reason I'm asking is because if that's the other company she's giving us this data report, this could be altered because it is more money. So what I'm saying is they could say that Travelers doesn't cover something when in reality Travelers does cover it. But
Travelers was, the way they explained it is, and if you look at our policy with Travelers, it's abroad.
Okay.
It's not detailed or specific to our districts.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, we're not just, if you go this route, you're not just switching insurance, you're switching insurance brokers, and you're getting a much more sophisticated broker who knows,
Okay.
they have 18 different companies they work with.
Okay.
We have a broker who, if you needed insurance for your house, you go to that broker. This broker, they only they focus on government.
So we have to vote on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I put a motion to approve it.
So your motion is to approve to go with
The new insurance company.
I want to amend his motion. Can I amend his motion?
Amended.
If everything is what it says here, because I'm a little leery about somebody else speaking for travelers.
Agreed.
But if everything is what is here, I'm all for it.
Agreed.
So So-
That's why I asked John, because John
Yeah.
deals with a lot of
Yeah.
other water control districts,
Yeah.
so he should be familiar with this.
FIA is,
Okay.
there, I mean,
With the amendment,
We have a second?
So we have a motion on the floor that's been amended, and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All in favor.
Good one.
All right?
Can we amend the excavator, the 63?
No. No.
John, the date, anybody want to speak on the 2022 meeting dates?
oh, so that's something we should have done at the last meeting. So every year, Becky prepares all the meeting dates for next calendar year because, so that she can advertise them. It takes a lot of her time. So we do in mass, we advertise all the meetings for next year. You remember years ago, we used to do it meeting by meeting. It was expensive, it took a lot of time. So this saves money. And now these dates, keep in mind, we can always change them on a case-by-case basis during the year. And in fact, we do that. A couple of times during the year, we'll switch meetings and then she'll have to advertise them. But this is a good practice, it saves time and money. So go ahead and you guys say, here are our meeting dates for 2022. So we need a motion to, do you have those
What are
dates?
Yes, it's in,
Wednesday?
right behind where your attorney spot, where the attorney tab is. There's a resolution.
Except
Y'all cover me up with.
except for Thanksgiving.
I need to get 100 instead of 50.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
complaining.
So you see this, these are the dates.
I'm
Do you have
It's all the way at the end, it's all the way at the end.
Is that gonna be on the website where it's?
Yes.
Okay, because I actually.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and that's
There's
another
an
good
old one.
point, that we're able to put all these things on the
Last
website.
page, last page.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. Here,
Last page.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Yeah, everything is set for the November 22nd.
May I say something? I don't like some of the dates that Becky did this year.
What?
I don't like some of the dates of the meeting that you did this year.
You didn't like some of the dates?
They were already pre-approved, brother.
Well, you came in late, so
Hey.
you don't have a voice on that one, sir.
Oh, just, Santana, so you know how it works on our Bible, how we used to call it. It's already been established that we do the meetings at 4 Wednesdays of every month.
Sure.
So that's where we get these dates from.
Except for
With exception of,
Thanksgiving.
Of this date,
Yeah.
this month, the day gets moved.
Yeah,
because of that.
because the holidays, and also,
So what do we find out the day that she's gonna pick for next year?
but has
This is
everybody,
right here.
right there in front of you.
but has everyone agreed to these dates?
Yeah,
As a fellow board member, I'm calling upon every other board member.
I agree.
I have no issue.
We need to be here.
It's on tape.
I agree. Be here when I can, be.
Well, just anyhow, just keep in mind of.
You better keep it coming.
We miss you. When you're here, it's more
Go ahead.
motivation.
No, I was telling Daniel that these days can only be changed 2 weeks prior to the
And I was, you asked her, I told her, I'm gonna be late.
So
I'm
get-
sitting at my desk where I got the notice of the meeting.
Can we get a motion on the floor for the 2022 meeting dates?
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Alvarez, we have a second by Mr. Santiago. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes for 2022, Becky and Pat. And also, when you get a chance, go ahead and put that out on our website and everything else. Get back to this long agenda here.
And Mr. Chair, I apologize, I've got to pick up my son at the his flight comes in at 10 o'clock, so may I do my report first?
I have no problem with that. So
Wait.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna leave like that and just
Becky.
continue.
Let me do can I do mine first before he leaves?
I think we have one more. It says discuss and vote on mailbox room. I just seen this, I'm sorry.
I think we
We
did
just
that.
did
That one?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. All right, so we're going to staff reporting. John, you want the floor?
Oh, I almost dropped
Daniel
my.
had to do this.
I'm gonna do mine.
Okay.
Wait a minute, didn't we just say we're gonna let my man here get?
He says yes.
He has to pick up his son, Daniel. Let him move first. Let him move first.
Okay.
to do something first.
Man,
John, can you meet me down here?
Uh-oh. That's why you can't go. Well, he's tricky. Here you go.
Becky, you in the department, she's taking a picture, don't worry about it.
John, as
Yes.
a board member of Central County Water Control District, let's go to the front so the camera can see us. As a board member of Central County Water Control District, I want to award you this for your hard work and dedication here at Central County Water Control, and for your years of service. 4 years, correct? 4 years.
4 years.
This is a personal gift from my office, as well as this plaque.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
No, move the podium.
Yeah,
Put it out. Oh, there you go.
I smoke the check.
I had to do
Well, Miss
that.
Martha, you might as well look. Here's your
Let me
picture.
get out your way.
I had to do that. Oh, I couldn't
Let me
stand
get
it
out
anymore.
your way.
Come on, Becky.
I took my time. Y'all can sit in there. Oh my God, make it take forever.
Now I see why you couldn't go.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we want to see you some more help, eh?
He said he ain't dropping his feet.
Flocka, can you meet me down here as well?
Go. Maybe I'll get my left thrust.
As the district manager here at Central County, my
I gotta
office
stop
wants
right
to
now.
appreciate you. So here's a personal gift of appreciation, as well as this plaque for your hard work and dedication for the community and Central County.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, before I present this one, I'm going to tell you the story of why I'm presenting this one. So as many know, I'm one of the youngest elected officials here in Marlboro. So my biggest thing is the youth and to see our community grow. I had pushed on that during my campaign as well as a board member, is the youth. So one of the biggest things that Central County does as a board member that I have seen is our summer camp. A lot of the kids that are unfortunate, they go there to eat, have fun, and enjoy their time, and to whatever it is, to get out the house. So I had this little young man who came up to me and he said, "Hey sir, I remember seeing you on my mom's Facebook." And I said, "Hi, nice to meet you." He says, "Are you one of the board members who reopened the park?" And this is meaningful. When I first got on there, that was one of my biggest motions, was to reopen the park, so they didn't have to go to the clubhouse, they could go through the gate. He said, "Because my mom takes me, to the park." And I said, "Yes." I said, "Why? What happened?" "Well, can I tell you about someone during this summer camp who really, it brought tears to my eyes because I'm the oldest of 10 siblings. So it really touched me. For this young man to tell me that this individual gave him the time of his life, that he asked if every weekend we can have this at the clubhouse. And it broke me to say, we don't have it in our budget, to have this program every weekend, but we do have it, for the summer. But if you don't mind me asking, who is it that, really inspired you, really touched you? And he said, I love her and all this stuff. And I said, "Okay, who is it?" And he said, "This little Spanish lady." I said, "Well, I want to know who that little Spanish lady is." And he said, "Well, it's Flacco's wife." I said, "Really?" And, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have, that touchful story. A lot of parents and a lot of the younger kids who did go to the summer camp have told me what a wonderful job she does for our community. So can you come up here as a board member? As a board member of Central County Water Control District, I want to thank you for your hard work and dedication that you do to our community, as well as I want to award you with flowers. Here's a gift of my appreciation for everything you do, as well as a plaque, and thank you for everything you do for Central County.
Well done. Nice touch.
Very good, Daniel. I gotta give you credit for that.
And the last one,
Make it count, bro, make it count.
woo. Okay, she's HR assistant district manager, she's complaints office, she deals with so much, the list goes on and on and on and on. But without her here at Central County, there won't be a Central County. She's what works behind the doors, behind the scenes. And I want to award her for her hard work and dedication here at Central County Water Control District for everything she does and she brings to our community as our assistant district manager.
Hey, thank you. Hey, it's probably time not to get a plaque. Can I take a picture of you?
Sure, come on. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, that's fun. I had some fun with that. That's all I was like. I give it 2 more people, you know?
Well, Dan, you took up your report of your time. Anyway, good job, Dan.
Good job, Daniel. Thank you.
John, you want to give your report?
Yep, that's.
John, are you crying or what?
Yeah, I honestly, it's a class act. It's really.
It is.
And especially, I know what Becky has to deal with on a daily basis, and it's very nice that you recognize.
Well, the first bad thing is me.
There has been a dark cloud on this office prior to me being here, prior to any of us being on here, that has stayed. And the appreciation for the staff, the management, and for everything these people do for us goes unappreciated. You know, he's the district manager, but who's his boss? His board. You know, and as a board member, they need to be appreciated for everything they do. Because if I'm here or if I'm not here, we are the body of Montour. We are what pushes policies and procedure, but we don't deal with the day-to-day like they do. You know, they take the bullet while we're behind that wall saying, what's going on, how can we help you? But we're not taking the shots, they are. So this is just a little of my appreciation for everything they do.
Well said.
So, first of all, again, I know I'm kind of a broken record on this, but your quarterly disclosure forms, your Form 2 and Form 9 is attached to my report. Please remember, it should take 5 minutes to fill out those forms. Please remember, I'm always want to make sure those forms are due by December 30th of this year.
Okay.
It's a quarterly disclosure, should be very simple. You file the same thing every quarter, but be stunned how many people forget.
Copy and paste.
So, yeah, exactly, that's fine, it's, you know, so that's number one. Number two, I got a call out of the blue earlier this week from the county manager.
Okay.
Asking a lot of questions about their Underwood report.
Okay.
So it's clear to me that somebody on high has directed her to take a closer look at the numbers.
Were you in the meeting with us? Okay,
Not the last one.
Okay, I'll elaborate on that in just a minute.
So, just saying, I think that's a good sign
Yes.
that we got the county's attention.
Okay.
Nothing happens quick in government. We all know that. That's
Yes, sir.
just the reality. But she asked, it was very clear to me, she went through that report with a fine-tooth comb. She asked me a bunch of questions, many of which I was unable to answer. So I got a hold of Bill Underwood.
Sure.
And he gave me some information. And so I just wanted to let you know, that ball is still in play.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you go ahead, you want to add something?
Oh,
to that?
well, yeah, I met with them a few days ago, and I think people are having trouble. I see this very positive. I attacked this subject the last time I was on this board, before I was gone for 5 or 6 years, and nobody wanted to talk about it. It was they're listening, they're engaging. We had a long discussion about the Underwood report. I'm not sure everybody gets it, because follow me with what I'm going to say, because a lot of people don't get it. Yes, all of these comparisons we made, some people will say those are not, you're not comparing apples with apples. Well, you're comparing apples with apples as close as humanly possible, because none of these areas are the same. You're not going to have a line item exactly at every place. That would be comparing apples with apples. My statement, I believe, makes it comparing apples with apples, which is how much is it costing us to live here versus the other communities. When we started this, and I even threw in the city of Cluson, the city of LaBelle, again, there's differences everywhere, but at the end of the day, what I think brings it apples with apples is what the cost is per $100,000. For every $100,000 your property's worth, what's it costing you to live in these communities? I believe that's what makes it apples with apples. A lot of people don't get that. She questioned it.
Right.
She questioned it, and I explained it to her, and I'm going to keep explaining it to her. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. But when I say, what does it cost to live, I believe that makes the comparison apples with apples.
But what I told her too is that you can't just look at that.
Right.
Then you have to ask I think the better question, which is, what does Montura get for that?
Well,
that's easy. It's almost
well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. She says that there's services underlying that we're getting. I say yes, but that doesn't. Whatever the services are we're paying, at the end of it all, y'all are getting money that has no services. Raymond hasn't admitted it. There's the number 600 came out. It doesn't matter. And all we're saying is we need y'all to take these roads, help us with these roads, and I use this for a point of reference, because the alternative is this district cannot keep up with the growth. It wasn't designed to keep up with the growth. It wasn't. This was never designed to work this way. And at the rate we're going, in 5 years, this district will be bankrupt. And guess what will happen? You dissolve it, which we're not going to do. You dissolve it, and guess what happens? The county comes here and takes over. What's that going to cost you? And then when you do that, they back up and they think. So what we want is money, some type of money, some type of help, put us in somewhere. Y'all take the roads. You take the roads. It doesn't matter. Well, we talked about gas taxes. I'm telling you, the first conversation. I'm very happy. It's taken a long time, but we're engaging. We talked about gas taxes. Is it legal for them to give us gas tax money? Well, they collected here, so they're looking at that. So I'm very pleased with what I see. Where we're going, I don't know.
No, because I contacted him on that, because I wanted feedback from management regarding how did the meeting go.
Yes.
And I spoke with him, over the phone. I said, this has never been done. No city or 298 is questioning, are we getting our services, but us, because we haven't. I said, that's what we're bringing it to your attention. I said, there has been, not just on the gas, the gas prices, why can't you guys give us anything on recreation, for a park? The excuse that I got back was, that it's not a county park. Where is there a county park in Hendry County? It's all of Hendry County, So I came to the notion where we're gonna play tit for tat. Our board is gonna have to play tit for tat for them to move. Because you want an action from them, you have been on them, I have been on him, all of us have been at him. That has never happened before. So now he's trying to find solutions to get us all at ease.
Well, here's the thing, though. You got to admit, this 298 was made wrong, in my opinion. It was done in the 70s, and I've been here when this place. I've said it before. This place was a working cattle ranch as a kid. I've been here for a long time.
It was probably ideal.
But it was ideal when there was 300 people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people. I think we can even go to 3,000 people. But as it keeps going, the way it's set up now, we need to raise taxes. We need to have ad valorem taxes, but they need to back off on their end because they only need to get money for what services they're providing, in my opinion. They're taxing us, and they can say what they want, and everybody's in agreement that the millage rate is the same for us as it is flagpole and everywhere else. So you're giving them this, and you're not giving it to us. Well, right. But y'all own the roads. Well, maybe we shouldn't own the roads. So we've had a lot of. We tried once and they didn't want it. We offered them the clubhouse one time and had all the votes that they wanted.
But they don't want it, they're getting their cake and eating it too.
Well, the point is this antiquated system has afforded them money. I mean, to me, if I'm in the county, the most profitable area I got is this area, because they're collecting all this money and they're not doing anything here but except coded for it.
And not receiving
but I'm gonna be honest with you. I have publicly humiliated our commissioner. I have publicly attacked him. Like I told him, you're a body over Hendry County, over our district. I said, I'm a body over Montour, over this district. I said, you have an obligation and a duty over your district. I said, just like every other commissioner, just like every supervisor. I said, when you neglect your position, I'm not going to speak on my behalf. I'm going to speak on the behalf of my community. I said, if I ask for reports for Waste Connections and they give me the door, you're the next applicant. And when you give me, oh, let me review it and come back to it, okay, that's still an answer. But one of the biggest things that I had to step back in was when they started giving me excuses about the whole investigation. We paid for it. Come on, don't give me an excuse. And then the other one where I had a little step back too was all these other commissioners have purchased for their community parks brand new things, spending all this money from all of Hendry County's recreational. And recently, they just bought brand new soccer goals for Cluison. But what about Montour?
Well, you gotta remember, the way the law is set, and I agree with everything you said, but I'm gonna tell you this, Raymond has batted hard for us. He is leading the charge with the county. Nobody else. I talked to the administrator, and I talked to him. I meet with him often, and he's right there on top of it. He's engaged. He really is. He is doing what he's supposed to do.
Hold on. So, we went off into a tangent. You guys can speak on your stuff. Can you go back to your report?
And so, and that's all good, and I agree with what Benny said. Also, at the next meeting, I've done some research, and I've looked at the process to become incorporated as a municipality. I've actually drafted a memo. It'll be coming to you tomorrow. I'm going to email it to you. Please, by the way, make sure you check your Central County emails, because I'm always sending stuff. I just want to make sure.
I had one.
Oh, well, sometimes I also copy you, so.
I appreciate that.
So, I don't disagree with you, but I think if people hear that we're talking about maybe that direction, that might get even more attention.
But they're still, the thing about it is they're getting their money from the city of Clueston and LaBelle, so I don't think that's the answer.
Well, they're not, what do you mean?
This is
they
what I
get charged the same deal we get charged.
Benny, this is what I hit them with. I hit eat.
No, wait a minute.
The village rate's not the same?
No.
Well, that's where I went wrong on the report.
Wait. So,
I don't agree with Buddy. If we go incorporated, our money will stay here in Montour.
Right.
They don't want to take the money away
Yeah.
to LaBelle and to Clueston. They're doing it right now.
Right. So if you live in Clueston,
Right.
you're not paying taxes to Hendry County.
It all goes to the city.
It's all going to the city of Clueston. The millage is assessed by the city,
Correct.
not the county.
Right.
It's the unincorporated parts.
Right, and
That's where I get that. Okay.
this is
That's what you want me to
this
do.
is a fast-growing area. It will be an important tax base for the county.
Sure.
Unless it becomes incorporated, in which case that money doesn't go to the county. There's a lot of reasons why they need to pay attention.
We go incorporated, our money will stay here, and we can administer our money.
Right.
Now they're taking our money away, and they are administering our money to LaBelle and to Clueston. And we're not seeing nothing
That's
of that money.
That's
That's already been happening for many years, many years.
So you're saying is if we incorporate, yeah, because there was some confusion on that report then,
So we
because
do that.
they're talking about the same millage rate all around. I'm going, what?
No.
We got no advantage of, okay, all right, I get it.
So
If that's the case.
the only disadvantage, Benny, is if we do that, we have to have, like, for instance, our own public works system. We have to
Yes,
take care of
public
trash.
works.
We gotta take care of roads.
So what?
Fire department, police department.
Contracts, there's contracts.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, you would, like, there are
I'm not saying it's a bad
many
thing.
cities
Yeah.
that contract with their county
Yeah.
for fire, for
There's
water,
contracts for that.
all that. But, and again, don't get me wrong, that's a 10-year journey, but it's gotta start somewhere.
Oh, I'm with you. We cannot continue to do the same thing that we've been doing for the past 10 years and expect
It doesn't
something to change.
It
It's
doesn't
not
work.
gonna work.
Right, that's the definition of insanity.
Yeah, insanity, yeah. Do the same thing over and over, expect change.
Expect a different result. So,
That's why I said, I wanna make it my mission till I'm done with this term to chase this money. That's all I've done in months, is chase this money.
Let me say something here for the record. For the, a lot of people are watching Facebook. A lot of people go on and see the videos after, a few days later. I have a lot of respect for the county commissioner.
Yes.
No, I want to say this from the record. But I have to defend the rights of the residents of Central County Water Control, which is Montura Ranch, which elected us to represent them.
We live here too.
And then they have to understand, they have to be fair with us, with the residents of Montura Ranch Estates. They're taking that amount of money, 80% or 75% of our taxes, and they're not giving us nothing back. That's wrong. That's stealing. Technically. They're getting the money for themselves. No.
But say
Give us at least half of the money that you're taking away and you're giving us no service for it.
the great thing, so the residents will know is we are addressing these are hard items that we're addressing. That's never been addressed before. That's never been addressed.
I know. That's what we're fighting for them. We're fighting for them.
So again, so a lot of people say, hey man, you can sell it out, this, that, and that. No, we're at a point where this 298 is not working for this community. We cannot expand, we cannot do certain things. Why? Because of the 298.
One thing I want to say, Mr. Martin. Mr. Iglesias called me a few times, last week, and he was talking to me about the land use animal restriction. And let me tell you, I'm really happy for what happened. Remember when we went to the first meeting out there in the...
And we fought hard, right?
In John Boy Auditorium?
Yes, sir.
And they only want to give us permission to have 5 chickens.
You remember that?
2 goats or 3 goats, and 1 cow, and 2 monkeys, and 2 goats, right? Too much. No, almost. Once they used to listen right?
Yes.
That was close. Excuse my Spanish, I only been living here 48 years, and I don't speak that to me. I try my best. The thing is, they want to give us permission to have 5 chickens, 3 goats, 2 cows. This is a farm. We move here from the city, from Hialeah, Kendall, New York, Chicago. Come over here, have a little places, a little ranch, have animals.
Sure.
And now you're going to tell me that we're going to have to, so we can start having those them, meetings.
Discussion, not argument.
Well, we don't argue. Discussion. But then, they give us what we want. I appreciate it. We should, anything, I only get more. So we can pick it up further, and we can have all the animals, we have all the animals. And I believe all the land owners, that they don't have a house right now, but they will build it before October 2022. They're going to be grandfathered in, so I really appreciate that. Mr. Iglesias called me and discussed with me a few times all that, and I really appreciate what the commissioner and the county did. So they can do the same thing with our taxes. They can be fair. They were fair with the animal.
The animals is different. We're talking about money.
Yeah, this is money.
This is money that legally, this is money they legally allowed to get. It's not, it's legal. It's legal. It's the way it's set up.
Well, but if they don't give us the money, we won't get
what's also legal too?
incorporate it, and that's it.
You know what's also legal too? Telling your constituents, hold them accountable. If they don't do what we need, don't vote for them.
Well, that's right.
That'll get them shaky.
That's true. I agree with you.
And then the last thing, so I'm going to have our environmental consultant, he's going to come at our next meeting, make a presentation. He's done he's flown the reservoir, he's done some aerial mapping, and he was supposed to come tonight, but because of the holiday and everything, it didn't work out, but he'll be here at the next meeting to get an update to kind of keep that ball moving down the field. That's it.
All right. Any questions for the attorney?
You ain't gone yet?
He's gotta go.
Palm Beach and Ranch.
Yeah, see you later.
Thank you.
Have a good trip, sir.
Thank you.
Drive safely.
You say, thank you.
Did you get your letter?
Mr. Bennett, you ready for your report?
They didn't come through yet.
Thank you for your patience.
I have it here.
Yes.
We've already talked about the drainage, I was going to talk about the parcel talked about earlier.
Yes, sir.
The only other thing I have is you had asked me to talk about a sign that you were proposing for the entrance to Montura.
For
Flagpole.
Yes, sir. In that area.
Reviewed the county's sign ordinance. They've got a whole chapter in their ordinances about signs.
I bet they do.
After about the third or fourth page, I got into it and said that that chapter doesn't apply to other governmental agencies, which we are one, so basically their sign rules don't apply to us. However, there are some rules that would apply depending on what kind of sign you want to put up. You still have to put it on our property and get setback from the right of way. And I don't know if you were talking about like a highway type sign or if you were talking about a sign that you would build or something for the entrance. If you were doing something like, for instance, a sign that's up there on Heritage, you probably have to get a building permit.
Correct.
And concrete and stuff like that.
I was thinking more of the line, or this is just me and also the community, I was just thinking on the line something because of our character, you know, like that Davy field, like a wooden sign. I mean, if he was willing to take up that challenge, I know he does woodwork, but there's other good people that can do woodwork and can trick it out and make it look decent, but have that country feel to it. And just a little, it doesn't have to be humongous, just, hey, by the way, this is a welcome to Montura Ranch Estates. Very presentable.
Just to confirm what Dennis says, me and Becky got into a conversation with Margaret. And Margaret says exactly what Dennis says, just to let her know what's going to be the size and which material we're going to use.
Sure. So
that was basically it.
Something maybe a little bit bigger than this, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to be flashy, doesn't have to be, but not lousy. Just a nice welcoming coming from the flagpole to our area. Because what's not welcoming is all the Brazilian peppers and all those things that, you know, which we'll work on it real soon. That's cheap. That's cheap.
None of the signs.
Gotcha. And I know you have an architect on staff, so maybe we can figure out something and maybe our guys can put it in, we'll get the permit, we'll collaborate together. Is the board in agreement with that?
Yes.
That's where they are.
All right. Anybody have any questions for the engineer? All right. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Mr. Boyd, the floor is yours.
One thing that I've handed out to all y'all is this piece of paper right here about the CDs.
Yes, sir.
And what that is, we approve purchasing CDs to increase our interest from Pine and Bank. The board's already approved that, but they need approval of specific people.
Okay.
By the vote. And I've got down each one of the supervisors, all four of y'all are listed on there.
Yes, sir.
And it just says that to sign normal documents need the signature of two of the current supervisors, but one needs to be the chair. And any changes in the original terms of CDs, such as an early withdrawal, would require board approval, evidence by the minutes. And any suggested changes need to be communicated by the bank to the treasurer prior to commencement. The reason we have those things in there is just internal control, and sure over the fact that all that money's out there. So basically, everybody's okay with that, we just need to approve that, we want it to be in the minutes, and sign it.
Okay.
And we're so pleased to purchase.
And please sign it, because for a while, there was only two of us signing things at one time.
You said everybody's gonna sign this, or just?
Only if
Just the chair?
something unusual, just the chair and one other person as far as just buying the CD.
Okay.
Oh, for the CD. All right.
Yeah.
And we have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Aye. We got a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
Under the motion on the floor, we have a second. Aye. Second by Supervisor Santiago. All in favor? Aye.
As far as the regular,
Right.
get it signed by then.
As far as the regular treasury report, since it's only been 1 month,
Yes, sir.
here, there's not a lot going on. We spent $235,083. Shows our assessment.
The assessment?
Assessment of $1,991,385.
Yes, sir.
Up because of the tax increase from the corporation.
Yes, sir.
There's been no collection because you can't pay through October 31st, but you couldn't pay your tax. So the next page doesn't really mean anything. There's no taxes collected.
Correct.
Other than $137 past due. As far as our budgetary expense, in the first month, it may not be all that meaningful, but we did spend $59,000 less than 1/12 of our total budget. So, we started off on the low side here, so that's good.
Okay, so can we amend now for the new?
No.
Yeah.
No. You gonna make me say something else I don't wanna say on camera.
So that's it, unless there's any questions.
Good.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Boyd and Treasurer report? All right, thank you, Mr. Boyd. Appreciate you. All right, Board of Supervisors, District Manager's report.
Are you serious? He done begged all the money he can get today, so. Go ahead.
Maybe turn the page.
Like we were talking about, we're doing a lot of stuff at the same time. I'm glad we are able to do so, thanks to our employees and effort.
Sure.
And me, Becky, and Jose are actually going crazy trying to, combine all that, and it's working out, thank God. As you can see, if you haven't drive, we're doing a lot of brand new roads. We are on both Cypress and Bertha right now. We're still going by the list, so we can go and, there is some roads on the list, just so you guys know that when we get to it, it's only a little tiny hole in the middle. So we have all the roads that are really bad, so we're jumping that one to the other. It's still gonna remain.
I'll let my wife know, that's that little hole down our road. She complains about too.
So, it still remain on the list, but we're gonna get to it. It's just some other priorities, more roads that are way worse.
I understand.
The whole woodland area is being done, every single road is brand new. We did Pinecone, Hunting Club, we just finished the last 2 roads that we needed to finish.
Now we're in bad shape.
There were, one of them was, we did it. I don't know what happened on that road, it was a scribble. We did a scribble, but for some reason, halfway to the front, it was like destroyed, completely destroyed. Daniel bring it to my attention. We saw it one time, it wasn't that bad, and then when Daniel came back to me, he said, Franco, you need to go there, it's not like it was. And it's true, it was bad. So we did that one too. And then, like I said, we're going by the list, trying to get as fast as we can to those roads. We did went into a little timing there where Richdale is having a lot of trouble delivering the material and having the material ready for us. As you guys know, we have 800 loads that we ordered. We haven't get them yet. We're on 106 loads.
We pay them every month?
We pay them every week.
Okay, stop the payment.
We can't stop the payment.
We haven't received our material.
We're not paying for material.
We pay what we receive.
Oh, no.
We pay it as
We
it's
pay
going.
what
We're trying to give you an update. We ordered 800 loads, we haven't received it.
Right, what I mean by that is we order 400 loads, but they only got 5 drivers.
Are they the only DOT certified
Yes.
place in the area?
Yes, we try the reservation, we try everywhere. We even try contractors. And then it works for a little bit, we got a good amount of material coming over. After that, they keep saying to the, well, I don't know still yet, but they told our contractors for drivers that they don't have enough material for them and their drivers. So that was cut off. We are managing to keep doing roads. We're just not going to be able to use 2 trucks because we're going to run out of material and we can use that guy for something else. That's the roads. Last year we spent $250,000 on materials. We have 360 permits for cover, so that's a lot of permits. Every year is going.
That's for the year or for last month?
That's for the year. Last month was 30 permits.
That's permits for cover.
Yes. We're still patching the potholes. You're right, they're getting really bad, they're really worse, they're coming out. We're gonna have a break now because it's not raining, but as soon as the rain comes back, we're gonna
Be the same situation.
go through hell again.
Yes.
We're still picking up trash. If this slowed down,
Yes, sir.
you know, a little bit, except with the tires, we're still picking up a lot of tires everywhere. But at least the trash is slowed down.
Good.
And the canals, we cleaning up. We're gonna end up cleaning up all the canals, but that's gonna be a little slow because, you know, there's a lot of pine trees and you name it. We got sofas, chairs, tables, tires, I mean, all kind of stuff.
Dead bodies?
No, not yet.
Oh, thank God.
Not yet. But we do have problems.
Close on these cases then.
Well, I already told you guys about the fuel that we spend with the, you know, the water from the other side. We've been through meetings with the county, and Benny, we've been through a meeting for the insurance. We've been through a meeting with Iglesias about the $1.6 million. You know, that's about it. The clubhouse is doing awesome. We have a little problem with the little pool now that we have to fix, but not a big deal. It can be done in-house, not a big deal. We are getting ready to redo all the tables on the pavilions, just like we do every year or so, with the red and the green paint. Somebody asked me if I can go back to all the colors where 7 years ago I said no. There was like 6 different colors between the pavilions and this and that. We're gonna have the Christmas coming up on December.
What's the date on that?
That's December 18th.
Are we doing anything December 18th?
December 18th is gonna be the Christmas party again for we are part of it, Hill Foundation is part of it, and then Paso Grande. Because of COVID or whatever, racing cases and this and that, he's gonna have to do again a drive-through. But we're still gonna have all the gifts, you know, the toys, the food, the clowns out there, you know, as much as we can.
Good.
That's about it. So if anybody has questions.
I do, but I'll let the board start first. Anybody on the board have a question?
Yes.
All right.
I want to ask you, Mr. Emilio, are we doing roads?
We doing roads?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Lately, I haven't seen no Santa Clara employees doing roads.
Oh, trust me, we're doing roads. We're on Most Cypress now. Before that, we were on Appaloosa and Estribo. From there, we went to Appaloosa and Isora, and on and on and on. Yes.
Let me tell you something. This is what I've been listening from the residents. I know that you have Santa County Road Authority have done a really good job fixing the roads, but I haven't seen nobody doing it lately. That's what I asked you. But the thing is this, I have many residents calling me and telling me about the bad shape of Perimeter Road.
Right.
And Perimeter Road is one road that have the access to all those roads connected to Perimeter Road, that they don't have access to any other avenue.
Right.
The only avenue is to Perimeter Road. And when it rains a lot, the residents in those areas have a really hard time going to the residents, to the properties. Can we start working on Perimeter Road? Fix all those main problems, situations in Perimeter Road? If it's not the whole thing, at least, like I talked to you.
Right, so, your question is being raised a few times on the meetings. Perimeter Road is not about fixing holes. Perimeter Road is a big hole from a hacienda all the way to the gate. It's not like we can go and fix this spot because right next to it is another spot.
Well, let's go and fix the whole thing.
Okay, so here is the thing with Perimeter Road. Perimeter Road is gonna need to be raised no less than 2.5 to 3 feet, if I don't mistake.
Let's do it.
Right, so Perimeter Road is 4 miles long. So we don't have the money, neither the manpower to do Perimeter Road at one shot.
The meeting, stayed here in a meeting not too long ago.
Right.
To use the reserve money to do the roads.
Right, no, at one shot. Just listen to what I'm saying. If we do perimeter only, we will not be able to do any other road whatsoever for a whole year, basically.
For a whole year?
Yes. You gotta raise that road about almost 3 feet. Right?
Well, let me tell you. Let's raise the worst part of perimeter. The worst part of perimeter, which I think is, because I've been driving up and down.
Right.
Since I've been a volunteer with Henry County Sheriff for 1 year. From Cabbage Pond, I believe this is what I experienced. From Cabbage Pond to the end, that's the worst part of perimeter.
Well, okay, so that's your opinion. But the opinion from the resident from Cabbage Pond to Hacienda is different. So you're looking at those.
No, but let's fix the whole road.
Okay, but I have no problem with that, But when you listen to the person from Cabbage Pond to the gate, I have to listen from the gate to.
I'm listening to all the residents of
I know, but what I mean is that the whole road is on really bad shape. We all know that.
But let's fix the whole road.
We can fix the whole road, but I want you guys to be clear that if we do perimeter without stopping, there will be a lot of complaints because we're not gonna get to anybody else's road.
But let me explain to you and to the board what I mentioned before. The residents that live by the roads that enter through perimeter road, they have no access to enter the property by any other avenue. It's only by perimeter road. So they are in worse shape than the rest of the Montura Ranch residents. They're in worse shape.
Mr. Santana, when it comes to roads, everybody has the same priority to me.
No, I'm not saying the same priority. But they don't have no access. Other people like myself, I can enter, I live in 360 Apaloosa. I can enter my home block and then make a dot in the Iona, go to my house. I can enter by Quebrada, by Apaloosa, and go to my house. But the people that live in perimeter road, they can only access the property through perimeter road.
Right. So this is really simple. Before I was asked to go by the list, right? We got a list and we need to follow that list, right? So we can turn it around and say, okay, forget about the list and let's do perimeter from Hacienda all the way to the gate. And that's what I'm gonna do. It's that simple. It's not, I don't have a problem doing one or another one. All of them are my responsibility.
he's going to do whatever the board directs him to do.
Yeah, of course.
But in this notion, he can't jump off of repairing all of Montour for a certain road. But that road has more problems than just to be fixed. You know, the biggest problem now that he's facing is repairing these roads that need to get fixed, as well as water control. We're a water control district. 2017 hit us really bad. All these roads have to be redone. But the most important thing is, let's say another 2017 comes, where's all that water gonna go? Do you want it to sit on your roads and damage them again? Or do you want it to flow out? So he's dealing with these two major projects. We can't stop and say, oh, just, fix all the perimeter. That's gonna be a waste of time, a waste of material, because the drainage problem is still not done.
No, I'm not talking about stop the canals. He's doing the canals, and he's working on the road at this time.
No, that's not what he means. What he means is, he's talking about the swells.
He's talking about the stormwater.
Exactly. So when we do a brand new review road, we're doing it with the ground. So what he means is that water is not going to be standing on that water line road no more. It's going to drain out to the swell and then go to the canal. So that water is not going to damage the base of that road. So what he's saying is, if we forget about the lease, that means forgetting about every single quarter mile road that it doesn't belong to perimeter, right? And we go and do perimeter. Perimeter is going to take a long time.
Yes, let me tell you. I'm gonna ask you, because people call me, explain to me that in front of the property one big holes. There is a big hole right there at the end of Cowboy Plant, into the perimeter. You tell me we're gonna fix it in 3 or 4 days.
He's not the only one.
No. I'm not talking about these holes, which are big holes.
Sure.
Right
I'm
in the middle.
aware 100%, trust me, I'm 100% sure about you saying. I do. The question is, do we forget about the lease and do perimeter only? Or do we just keep going with the lease?
No, but don't do the rest of the roads in Montour and forget about perimeter.
So
That's what's been happening for a long time.
So I think one thing that we need to ask of management is if that we can, first of all, see the list of what you're working on, but I also would like to see the complaint list that comes in. And also, Mr. Ben, this is where we need you to, where you can prioritize. Hey, because again, I drove some of these roads and I have bigger vehicles and I have smaller vehicles. My smaller vehicles, I'm like, holy crap. And then they say, hey, aren't you the chairman? I'm like, yeah. So there are a lot of bad roads. My thing is, as I think we're trying to assess to, this is the time to get some of these roads. We might not be able to do all perimeter, but let's highlight our priority areas so we can at least scratch them off. Now, you speak to Daniel about it, hey man, we're just throwing away money. Possibility, but again, we have people that live down these roads. Unfortunately, like I tell people too, is this is what we moved out here for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people live to be secluded, and when you're out there, you definitely secluded.
Well, we have fixed a lot of.
But can you give to us on a monthly basis the report, where we're at with the complaints, what we're at on addressing them, that kind of stuff?
Your report's gonna look copy and paste. The roads are gonna get done. You're gonna see improvements of roads.
Why don't we?
But your complaint list is gonna be copy and paste. Every week, every month, I have asked for it. It is the same copy and paste. And it's always new. It's the same people complaining. So what I do, I take that report, I went down these roads, and their biggest problem, and that's why it's a waste of money to me. Sure. I'm not gonna repair a road, and I'm not gonna vote to repair roads that you have an 18-wheel semi-truck going up and down every day.
But the good thing is we have documentation. That's what documentation is for. Hey, by the way, down your road, you just spent $20,000 down your road. I'm sorry that you have a truck driver, maybe 2 or 3 truck drivers back. At least we can say, by the way, we present the facts to them. And I'm not against truck drivers. Everybody has their business. If the county allows it, that's fine. But I'm just saying, once roads are being tore up, hey, we have addressed the road. We have addressed the road.
No, we have that record.
And that's what I want documentation for. So when the complaints do come up, that you guys can go through your record books and say, by the way, on such and such a day, we were down your road on the north side or the south side, whatever, and we put down whatever.
Well, we've been doing that for the last 3 years.
I appreciate it.
We have on that record.
I appreciate it.
We have on that record.
So let's go back to the questions to the manager, so we don't beat this up. We're going on. Any other question for the manager, so I can
Ask my question.
I got a question real quick.
Mr. Santana is waiting for you guys answering.
Okay, hold on. Can't you, if there's big holes, one thing I can say is, if there's semis running out the road, I don't care what you do, it ain't never gonna be right. There's too much weight for forget about it.
There is no semi going back there.
Okay, so if there is, you can't fix it. If there isn't, we can't rebuild that whole road 3 feet or 2 feet or whatever. So places there's bad holes, put a load or two of them. Pitch patch.
That's what
I hate to say it, but we have to do it.
That's what we tell them.
We've been doing that. We've been doing that.
No, don't put it.
Oh, yes, yes.
I haven't seen you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So you've been keeping track for
You
the
wanna
last
know
3
if
years,
I'm
so
telling you the
provide
truth?
that to him if you would.
Ask the couple that you tell them to come over here and get an application.
Chantel?
Ask them. We did the spot right in front of their house because when they put their trailer, they messed up the road. So
Yeah, man, what I'm talking about is in one place, but you know, there's a lot of holes out there.
There is.
There is. So this is what happens when you patch this hole and this hole and the raining comes. What do you think it happens in the middle? The holes get even bigger.
Yeah, done.
And bigger and bigger and bigger. So
Yeah, but don't do like this, just level it all.
we have done it 1,000 times. But that perimeter road is pure sand.
No, I get it. I get it. It's all I'm saying.
And the other thing is too, that I laugh about it is, when it rains, that water sits on that road. And you know what these young kids and everybody says, oh, I'm gonna go ride my forward.
Of course.
That's their #1 road.
That's the
I have
reason,
sat
yeah.
there on weekends, I have sat there on days. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And we have a few community members who they buggy at the Hendry Sportway, and they use perimeter as a training road.
We need to call the sheriff's department and have them arrested.
Oh, Dominguez, haven't you had many calls and complaints and
Yeah.
addressed them?
I have taken them and told them. Yeah.
Can we go back to manager report? You have a question for him? Somebody else have a question for him?
I think all my question was just kind of pitch patch a little bit, but I get it. It's soft sand. A lot of these roads the beds were not made properly in the 70s. I've seen the beds, but do you know how much it's gonna cost to do that whole road? Do you have any idea? 300,000, 400,000?
I think we did that one time and it was.
It's not even that, it's, okay, let's just say for instance, if you take a roadway 2 feet high, do you know how much water runoff you're talking about? How much the water that's gonna run off those properties and inundate our system?
Perimeter's not even built right.
It's
swales.
Oh, that's
the whole thing is 60 feet wide.
Swells are not
20
there,
feet
thank you.
wide.
But
It's all gotta be
It's not a matter of just fixing the road. You're right. If you spend a bunch of money on that road and the soil ain't right, you're gonna destroy the road because all the
So
soil.
watch this, Mr. Bennett. So watch this. There's 3 main roads in Montura that I see that definitely need help, right? It's Perimeter, Beto, and Kennel. Those 3 main roads. So why don't we do this? Put a report together, right? Present it to us, because again, it's not getting any cheaper to build a road, correct? So let's see what the cost will be and see if we can get creative, because again, people do live down these roads. They do expect service. They do expect service. If I lived down that road, I would expect service as well. But let's see what it'll cost. See if we can do something in phases, a phased approach, or maybe Benny get lucky with the county and maybe they'll take on that project for us.
I have all the faith in the world that they're gonna help us.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, we gave you these 3 roads. Hey, you can show us that you're in favor of this by here. Take care of these 3 roads for us. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
I'm in favor of anything that has to do with this community.
Yeah, but the thing is those problems that Mr. Santana's bringing up and that we all bring up, they're not going away.
No, I know
So we
that.
might as well come up with a solution.
They're gonna get worse.
At least we can tell the residents, you know what, you're absolutely right. Here's the solution. So we gotta find ways to get this money to make it happen. Any questions for the manager? All right. I have a question for you on the clubhouse. What is the next project for this clubhouse?
The next project for the clubhouse, we've been working on get the baseball field started.
Okay.
And also rebuild again the soccer field for the soccer players so they don't have to play on the baseball field.
Gotcha,
Because that's gonna cost some money for the grass and this and that.
gotcha.
And we also been working into getting either grant or donation. This is being done between Daniel, me, and Becky about putting how is it called? The roof,
The awning.
the awning for the basketball and for the playground. We still going through rules and regulations and stuff like that they don't allow. So that's the main 3 projects that we got.
So what about where we're at with closing in that one area to make it a meeting room? Where are we at with that one, that we approved as a board to make that happen? The AC and everything for that one side?
It was never approved.
It was approved. It was approved many times.
No, closing it?
Yes, sir.
It
After
was,
the electrical. So pull up the meeting minutes, because Benny was here, we're all were here. It's been approved.
Becky, do you remember?
It's
Well,
there.
what we did was, before we could do anything with the AC unit, we needed to bring up the electrical panel,
And we have done that.
and, which happened this year.
Yes, ma'am.
We just finished it.
So that's why I'm asking,
And
where
so-
are we at? Where are we at with
so
that?
you guys says after we done with all the electrical stuff, we will go back and revisit because of the AC.
Yeah, but it was, yes, I agree, but it was already approved to make it happen, but we needed to put in a phased approach. The phased approach is, our electrical's up to par now, and that, is that big?
Well, they haven't finished the electrical yet.
Okay, when do they plan on completing that?
They have done the whole thing, but then after that, we run into some cables that were put the wrong way, some cables were mixed, so we are into that.
No, to piggyback on that, we did say we'll come back to that because the pool came up. So we
Yeah,
never fully
it-
approved
it-
it.
The
We said
whole
let's
room
table
part
it.
was never actually
Because of the
approved.
pool.
Go look at
It
the
was-
meeting minutes, I got elephant memory myself, if you would, go look at those meeting minutes, because I believe we said after this was done, because it's been approved many times, even when Denise was here, that was been approved. Even when Denise was on the board. But again, I just wanna know where we're at.
Yeah, we can always go back.
So we can get that. The next thing is, where are we at with, I know we had a position open for the clubhouse, where are we at with that? Have that's been filled?
We haven't get nowhere with that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Next question, no, you know what, the attorney's not here. Is, I've been told that the starting pay now, I think in our area is now like up to $15 an hour. Where are we at? Where are we at now? We're at.
11 start.
Our starting point for the heavy equipment operators.
No, I'm talking about across the board. If I'm not
The
mistaken.
minimum, the minimum starting.
The minimum.
That was over 3 or 4
$11
years.
an hour in the
We're not
clubhouse.
even
No.
close to that.
No,
$11 an
I'm
hour.
not saying that's what I'm asking.
The minimum is $11 an
$11
hour
an hour.
for the main.
That's why we cannot get nobody for the clubhouse.
No, if I'm not mistaken, just look at, ask Mr. Ferrero, where are we at with the minimum wage? Because I believe minimum wage went up to like 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Minimum wage,
So if
it's going up to 15 over a 4-year
Over
period.
4 years, yeah, it's not that.
10 and-
Yeah, it's-
I know a lot of corporations have already.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people paying for it, I'm saying the law is going into effect. one
Yeah,
day.
it's,
So just make sure that we comply with that, and make sure that
I think we're at 13, if I'm not mistaken, by now.
no. What they agree is to get it to 15, but in 5 years.
Right.
They would increase it.
This year
For
it
the
went
year.
to 10, I think, and it's gonna go 11,
Yeah.
12, 13,
Because we're at 1320.
14. I mean, a lot of people are paying more than that, but that's the law.
And our minimum in the clubhouse is not actually 11, it's 12. We start 11 and then after 3 months of probation, they get to 12.
Understood. So,
We started 11.
and that's our lowest salary so far? Is that our lowest pay?
Yes,
Throughout our whole organization?
yes.
How much we pay to the heavy equipment?
Well, nobody makes $12 an hour if that's what you're asking now. Nobody makes 12.
No, I'm just trying to figure out.
The
what
starting point for
pay.
us,
Our
minimum,
lowest starting
is 12, yes.
is
11.
12, 11, 3 months, and then 12.
Gotcha. 11 an hour, and after 3 months. Thank you. Any other, that's all I have, really. And I appreciate you guys, for what you guys do.
Thank you.
Really, you guys really do a good job. It's very noticeable. I know a lot of people don't, but I do notice it. And I think the board notices it, and We're just trying to get better, believe me.
So I know that, it's,
We're just trying to get better.
it's not gonna happen without everybody's
Correct.
input and, you know.
Thank you for that. So we'll go finally, we'll go to the board members report. Mr. Santiago, you have the floor.
Yes. I think I've been the board member to tackle community events and things that the community likes to speak on. It is one of our biggest, touchiest subjects, is because it's pouring money back into our community. I sat down with a community group, a coalition, and they want to bring back the old Montoro. You know, where we had, you know, paved rides, you know, where they had the fair, all this stuff. So I had taken the time with the assistant district manager as well as Flacco to discuss some of these events. Also with John on the phone a couple times to give us the area in which, you know, we can make the means legal and what's not legal, because we are still 298. And moving in that degree, you know, I got a lot of feedback from a lot of constituents, voters, that, you know, it's time where we do something about covering our park with an awning, as well as the basketball court. Those are our two big safe havens. That's our biggest rotating door. They're always being used, they're always, you know, being assessed and addressed. One of the other things that, you know, I wanted to get with my team, you know, that does grants, is to see about getting a exercise park. You know, for our older people, our younger people who want to exercise, I didn't know, as a board member living here, that we have one that is just there. If you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. So I contacted Greenfield Outdoor Fitness just to get a quote on their smallest community park for our size area. And the quote came out to $62,747.10 for everything we already have. So I said, okay, now give me some feedback of what we have and what you guys are offering. One, the equipment's new. Two, they're offering a trail that comes with it and awning at every section. I said, okay, so I brought it up to Flacco and Becky's attention. They said, well, we can save lots of money on it if we do our own trail with gravel. Becky mentioned some other material that we can use, you know, and redo that thing. What I'm bringing all this about is the overall thing of Montora is we're growing. Montora is growing rapidly, faster than a lot of us can push policy and procedure or see how our dollars are being spent. And as I always address, at the heart of Montora is the clubhouse, and that we do need to come to a notion and understanding that moving forward into a city or whatever, a town, we have to understand that investing into our heart, our center of Montora, is very crucial and very key. As well as, you know, bringing some money back into our clubhouse, our park, our recreational park. There has been many programs and many things that I want to bring to the table, as well as with management and as well as you guys. And that's, you know, opening the door that my predecessor denied was, you know, for instance, I wrote it down, was bringing, you know, the flea market. You know, we brought back the food trucks. You know, and I want to move into that degree. I mean, I'm just bringing this now as a, you know, a statement. Next meeting, you'll have the proposal packet, because that will be our December meeting, to present to you guys of all the events that, you know, we want to bring to Montora. And, you know, open the door to bringing a fair again. I have spoke to 2 companies so far. We're looking at revenuing with this fair. If we contract it right and we write it right, we can look at $100K just for a whole week that we can bring back. We're gonna have to, you know, go over the, you know, the details and the pennies at that. But from what I was speaking with these 2 fair companies, is they advertise it for months on end, you know, to get a lot of people from Lehigh Acres, Palm Beach, Clewiston, LaBelle, all of our local cities, and say, hey, we're having a fair or a festival. We invite you to come join us and stuff like that. So these are just some ideas that I just want to get your guys' feedback, hear your guys' opinion on what, if you guys opposed to it or don't oppose to it, because I think we need to, we're growing as a city as well as, you know, doing our roads, our swells and stuff like that, but we can't neglect, you know, our community center, which is the clubhouse. You know, the basketball hoops, I think we need new basketball hoops. I've been to LaBelle, and in the NICA where people say, oh, that's the hood, they have $2,000 basketball hoops. and I got in charge with the new mayor, Jackie, and she said, "You're right, we approved it, they use it." So I appreciate that. And as I said, no, that was the city of LaBelle that purchased it. And I said, none.
So that means that the money that we're paying in taxes is going to city parks, not county parks.
I just wanted to bring up the notion that we look into investing into these little areas as showing an appreciation, to the community as well as a lot of the constituents. And it's not gonna just happen with me as a board member, it's gonna happen with us as a whole. You have your supporters, Juan Santana, as well as Benny, as well as myself. And to make these events a successful event, we have to come together as a body, not as individuals. So I wanna just give a rough draft of what, I propose to have, throughout the year, but as well as, your feedbacks, certain things that you guys would like to bring moving forward, that we do have a successful community events, as well as with management and the board, that they go successful, because I see it as an investment. If we invest into these events, we can get a great amount back to do even bigger events years to come. And even, we may get to a point one year where we can afford to have, a youth program after school for the kids at the clubhouse, but we have to start somewhere, like how we did for the golf tournament. So if we invest into our clubhouse with these little events, we can bring businesses in as well. So this is just something I wanted to propose to you guys today.
I have no objection.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we used to have a fair. I don't remember what happened. That's a great idea. It was a nice little fair. It started and it went for a few years.
I have no objection. I think the only thing that we're missing on the board, and we probably missed on the board for a while, is just nobody taking the initiative to push through. So, but as you know, it takes a lot of people to make things happen. And
there's a lot going on.
And there's a lot of people, burning the midnight oil to make these things happen. So, if you guys are willing to do it, I'm all for it.
That's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. The community would be helpful, but, it's somebody has to bear that burden. But I think it's great. Good report. On something?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna be short the gold.
My office.
I'm not going to
I already spoke about the particular rules that I want to do with that. One time I mentioned here about family insurance for the employees, Central County employees. I never received no answer. I never received, we didn't contact nobody, any insurance company to look prices for the employees' insurance.
I believe that's one of the things that
We have
family insurance.
We have our health insurance provider is Florida Blue.
Florida Blue?
Yeah, that company is approved by the board.
Right, but how we look into it about getting family insurance for the employees?
Oh, he's talking about, I think, broadening the insurance policy to cover more than just.
So what you want the board to understand is that you want to bring back the employees have their family insurance.
That's what I mentioned here a long time ago. Maybe
we used to, all the employees of Central County used to have family insurance.
Right, so I brought that up a long time ago here at the board. And I believe you and Becky told me that you were going to look into it. Becky told me you were going to look into it. I mean, we talked to different insurance companies about getting family insurance for the employees.
But you don't need to look for an insurance companies for family insurance. You can get the same provider we have and turn it into a family.
Yeah, but we have to look into the different rates to see where we can stand with them.
Right.
Well, we can always do that, but that is already being approved for the whole next year. It could always be changed.
We already have approved family insurance for the employees?
No, you guys already approved the insurance provider.
No. I'm talking about getting family insurance coverage for the employees of Central County.
So for that, the only thing you need to do is make a motion.
He's talking about having.
But we have to get ratings, different ratings.
Yeah, he's talking about Central County paying for the whole family. We need a price. We need a price.
Yeah,
Know how much we have to pay?
He just need the price and make a motion.
So somebody's gotta get it. Who's gonna get the price?
That's what he's saying, you don't
We
need a
can get
motion.
it.
You don't need a motion.
You don't need a motion.
You need a price.
I already requested that a long time ago,
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Wait,
I haven't seen it.
The price for family insurance
I brought it here,
provided?
at the board meeting, remember?
I don't.
About 6 months ago, and at the board member, we agreed that we were gonna look into prices for the family insurance.
So if you can capture that
We can,
information,
yeah, we
family
can
coverage.
always, yeah, we can always look for
I
it.
think right now
Thank
it's just
you, thank you.
employees, but just try to see the family coverage, employee plus dependent, independence.
Let me ask this question.
No, your time is
No,
up.
this is a good
Your
question.
time is up. Go ahead, bro.
Why, okay, we only get $50 per meeting, but we can't be adopted onto the insurance?
I have no idea.
That's a question for the lawyer.
That would be a benefit for
us.
something.
Yeah, that's what we did for money, you know.
Yeah, that's, listen,
I'm
that's a
I'm gonna need
million,
insurance.
Let me,
that's a $1 million question. Remember, you guys are board members. So whatever you guys decide, it goes.
Oh, so I put him, no, I'll speak with you
so,
about it.
let me continue with my report, please.
Go ahead, sir.
Finish him up because Mr. Marco wanna go.
I need overtime.
The salary for the employees of Central County,
Yes.
I believe is too low compared to our surroundings.
A rate study.
Okay? I believe, I hope the supervisor of the board will back me up on this. Instead of starting $13 an hour, $11 an hour, now we start in $13 an hour. And then after 90 days, we go to $14 an hour. So in that way, we can have people motivated to come and work for us. We've been looking for employees now for the clubhouse.
Long time.
And they don't start working. You can tell me, no, they don't. I call them, they don't respond. They fill an application, and we call them.
They got a check in the mail, they don't wanna work.
Well, but at least if we start at $13 an hour, maybe they're gonna have a little bit more motivation to start working.
Mr. Santana, I'm 100% agree with you, but it's up to you guys.
No, this is what I'm bringing to the board.
It's a good thing. Can Becky, or Mr. Moore, can somebody do a rate study? We do it at the job all the time.
We've done it before too.
Yeah, every 3 to 5 years, we do a rate study to see how we compare to our local areas. To see, put apples to apples, like heavy equipment operator, maintenance, whatever, you know.
Yeah, we did one, too long ago, like, 6 years ago against Grace County.
And I am in agreement, I always have believed you get what you pay for. If you pay somebody well, they'll be committed and don't have issues doing the extra mile.
100%.
Again, I'm not about penny pinching somebody.
100%.
Now, I want to bring my last point.
Okay.
I agree with Mr. Martin. You see, I have seen so many cars. I go in my flag hole, going into the canals. It's incredible. How many cars, since I'm a volunteer with the county department,
Sure.
I have seen accidents and just people driving by flag hole. The deputy here, Mr. Dominguez, he can tell you what. And they're driving, I'll be driving flag hole, I see a car just getting off the road and boom, flying into the canal. So, wow, you know what I'm saying? So if we can put some barriers, or we can ask the county, Henry County, to put some barriers at the side of the road to at least they will hit the vehicle, will hit the barriers, and then it will go straight to the canals. We can save some vehicles into going into the canals. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Master?
Well, that's really simple. You guys can always vote. We find some estimates, we get some,
But that's flag hole.
That's flag hole. That's flag hole.
oh, I thought you were talking
We're
over.
on a sinking ship, everything we say is more money.
I say, this is what I say with the mother. With the mother.
That's Henry County.
we can talk to Dave.
Yeah, you can reach out to them.
Every day, you can, oh, okay, yeah, because,
Reach out to anybody that got paperwork.
But if I may, one of the subjects that you did bring up, I did get in contact with someone because someone who is on my board
which stuff?
lights for Monterey.
Oh, yes, yes.
I did
For the
get,
most stuff.
yes, I got in contact with my VP, who his wife is high up in Glades Electric. And they did say that they'll do a proposal, and because they're a 501c, so they're a nonprofit. They don't make any money, so they do give money out. So she said if we propose to their board a deal, we purchase the lights, they'll install it.
Special price.
And
hey, this is America. You have to put
they would see if they can accommodate it to be like it is with the regular other lights, the other city lights, for main intersections or main hot points for the school buses. I tried getting in contact with the school board, well, the superintendent directly, but me and him don't see eye to eye, so his office hasn't got back to me, so hopefully.
Which one, Ms. Wiggum?
Yes, hopefully you can get an answer from him to see that if we can arrange something with his office as well as Glades Electric and us to arranging certain designated spots for bus stops that we can light up and then get an estimate.
Also for the shelters, for the children and the most stuff, we need shelter.
So I just wanted to bring that to you to get with him, see if he can work with us and get in a proposal so we know what numbers we're looking at.
After you, everything you said last meeting, I don't know how.
Oh, it's fine. Those words still stand. He doesn't have my
I'm gonna
support
call
nor my
him.
orders.
He's a good man, he's a good man.
Hopefully.
What else you got?
That's it.
All right, thank you for that. Mr. Alvarez?
I'm wore down after all that money. Well, I want to say this to the staff here. We have a great staff, and you guys do a good job. I'm not sure what the population in Monterey is at present, but we have about 20 or 30 people that don't have anything else to do but make trouble and talk bad about everybody and play games on Facebook, but you ought not let that bother you. I think, I don't know what the percentages are, so it's 5,000, you got 20 people, it's not even a percent that feel that way. The people I say the people that count, the people that are out there being constructive and trying to help and giving us good input, most of the people are happy with what's going on. Yeah, the roads are in bad shape, and you know what? The reality is we don't have the money to fix all these roads. We could spend $10 million on roads tomorrow, and we still wouldn't be done with it.
When you have Shell Rock Road.
Yeah, so you gotta remember where this place started. It was neglected for many years, and then you're trying to play catch up, people coming in and out of here, and there's no money. There's no money. So I just want to say it again, you people do a great job, great job. And I said it today, there's no reason for anyone to come in here and interrogate anyone. Every meeting I've ever been to, you come in, you say what you need to say, that's it. Then you get a response and you go on. You don't argue and you don't talk down to people, and this has got to stop here. And nobody should be subject to it. It's wrong. With that being said, I want to get to the deal with the county. I want to thank you and anyone that knows anything about business. What we do is worth a nickel. I'll tell you that you people are doing a great job, because it's this other agendas I don't even pay attention to them. They're absolutely ridiculous. You're doing a great job with nothing, because we don't have a lot. But back to the county. I brought this up the last time I was here. I don't know how many years I was gone, and it's been a long time ago. I said it earlier. No one would speak to it. They didn't want to talk about it. You got to remember, this area was set up like this by law.
Sure.
It was a big mistake, but it was set up. No one's done anything wrong except following the law.
Right.
Okay, so I sometimes wonder if everybody gets what we're trying to do here. But we're engaged. We've met 4 or 5 times. The county administrator's asking a lot of questions. We've answered a lot of questions. I know a few meetings back, she didn't know we didn't have ad valorem taxes. I mean, a lot of people don't understand what's going on here. So
residents as well.
A lot of people, they don't have a clue. But again, we're chasing this money. We've talked about a lot of things. They brought up tax money. The problem is we're 298. Is it even legal? There's where it goes. And I guarantee you, before it's over and done with, it's not going to be legal because the 298 can only do what it says, what the charter says you can do. Anything else you can't do, unlike other governments. So we know that. But I want to thank, I'm telling you, Raymond has been in the middle of this. He hasn't stopped. When we had a water issue, he was out here on the weekend with me, standing right in front of that man's property. He's got a lot going on. He's been hit pretty hard. He's behind us. He's constantly talking to her, asking her this, can we do this, can we do that? I believe the gas tax was his idea. So I can say that everybody needs to thank you for what he's done. We know it's his job, but I think he's went above and beyond, and we're going to continue hammering at it. But we got a big issue here. We have to do something differently, and because this is not going to sustain itself, and it's going to get worse. The roads are not going to get better. Listen, we got one road grader. The roads are not going to get better. They're going to get. I'm sorry to tell you, here comes doomsday, but they're going to get worse. There's going to be more people driving them. We get rain. It's not going to get better. I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do something. I'm telling you, it's just the nature of the beast. But if we could get a $10 million grant or something, that would be that's a big if. You could attack these roads, but all we can do is one at a time like we're doing, and a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people are upset, and I understand it. But you know what? I'll say this. I didn't move out here for paved roads. I moved out here for mosquitoes, water, alligators, snakes. That's why I moved out here, and they're gone. So, hey, anyway, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we're after this money. We're after this money. So they've been everybody's been good. I mean, there's no resistance. There's been no bad attitudes about it. Nobody's trying to close us off. Matter of fact, they're throwing ideas in the pot. So hopefully we can come up with something that will work.
Sure. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
So we have a motion on the floor in a second. All in favor, aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.